Alright, hello, good morning everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm your charming self-proclaimed yet still humble host, Mukluk, and today is Guild Wars Tuesday. So we are back in the wonderful world of Guild Wars 2, which is Tyria, by the way. Did you know that? Hello there. Let's see, Muk, it's Chillofreg's birthday, and he's now 33 years old and playing cello all stream. Okay. I hope he doesn't live in an apartment with angry neighbors. I say that half as a joke, because I remember one time he was playing too late, and I think one of his neighbors came and complained. Good morning, Muk Chat. Hello, Rajani. Noi4, I see you. Maverick, I see you spinning. I didn't realize until now that only the Rev survived the raid boss. Oh man, I've seen that intro so many times, I never even looked at the classes. It's all just, did they fall or not? Morning all. Hey, Bluebell. Maybe they add Chillofreg's class to Guild Wars 2. I mean, he was an Ellie main. So, oh wait, where's Blish HUD? Hang on a second. My Blish HUD is not loaded. Where are you, Blish? There we go, let's do that. Alright, what are your plans for today? Find another class that was born as a result of the most recent patch and try it out. And speculate on that Bard thing, see if they release any more teasers. That's basically the plans. The hype train is unreal. It's pretty funny that, like, all they did was release a picture of a guitar and everybody's going nuts, myself included. Snowcrow put up Healalac Vindy yesterday. Oh, nice. Love the content, much love from France. Hello, WikiAid. I loved Expedition 33. You guys did great on that. If you do heal Vindy, I can tell you where I disagree with Snowcrows. Oh, great. First time I go do cat stream mostly, I see the VODs on YouTube. Hey, yeah, we've got the stream VODs are always on YouTube, and they're on Twitch as well for a while, but it's easier to browse the VODs on the YouTube side. Why is everyone calling it Bard when Minstrel already has runes? I mean, Virtuoso also sounds musically inclined, even though it's freaking not. Like, I don't think there's anyone who's ever wanted to play a musical class who got Virtuoso and was happy about that. It's just guy who throws daggers. So, I don't know. And, like, Minstrel's armor is, you know, like, tanky Healy armor. Again, not really Bard. Bard is just a generic term. Yeah, Bard is kind of just a placeholder thing, because it's like, okay, they're making this guitar specialization. They could call it a minstrel. They could call it a bard. They could call it a dirge. They could call it a skull. They could call it a troubadour. There's a lot of words. We're saying bard for simplicity's sake. Well, who knows what they're going to do. The blades sing through the air as they stab people. So does everybody else's blades. Let's see. I'm imagining he has the only chat visible on his stream is Twitch. Wait, what? Hang on. I'm worried he might get in trouble. Did Muck hear about the multi-chat thing Twitch is banning streamers for? Oh, yeah, that doesn't affect me. Okay, so basically, in the bottom right-hand corner of my live stream, you could see the chat.
Hi, Muck, have a snack on Bezos.
You could see chat. However, you'll notice it's only the Twitch chat. And the reason for that is for many years, I was only a Twitch streamer. And then the reason I wasn't streaming on other platforms at the same time is Twitch had a dumb rule that said you can't. So I had to choose, do I keep streaming on Twitch or stream on other platforms? So I chose to keep streaming on Twitch because that's where I had a following and that's what paid my bills. And then Twitch changed the rule and said, okay, you can stream on other platforms as well, but if their chat shows up on your stream, like if it's just permanently there, then we will, you know, get upset about it. And a lot of people said, they're not going to do anything, and they just had the merge chat on the stream no matter what. Now it's a dumb rule. I'll grant you that. It is a stupid rule. However, that's what they said, but they didn't enforce it for a long time. So lots of people just kept doing it. Well, recently they appear to have started enforcing it on
39
a whole bunch of people.
Hype.
So a whole bunch of people have been getting bans or, you know, temporary suspensions, things like that, because they had both chats merged and visible on the stream. I'm not doing that, so I shouldn't have anything to worry about there. So usually when I, am answering a question from the audience that is not visible on stream, I usually just repeat the question and then answer it. Lloyd says, okay, cool, stay safe, Mug. Yeah, hopefully I will. Hopefully I will. But yeah, I'm certainly trying to. And yeah, once again, I think it's a dumb rule. It's a stupid rule. It's like, Twitch is being really weird about it. Like, okay, you can, you can see other girls, but don't talk to them. And it's like, what? It's just like this really weird relationship. Like, if Twitch and YouTube were people, Twitch is acting really weird. Mark talked about Vindy. There's a bug where a lack applies to the closed people to you instead of your subgroup. We're hoping for a hot fix. Also, disagree with Snow Crows. I made a build with a good heal, no legend swap, Aegis, and stab on demand. Pretty easy rotation, all boons 100% upkeep except swiftness. Snow Crows has legend swap, no stab on demand, and ally targeting. What the hell? I mean, yeah, that sounds terrible. Pretty sure that bug is already patched. You can see other people, just don't let me know they're talking to you. Yeah, something like that. I fully expect new icons appearing in the next 8 days, up to 6 days in the announcement. So there was 2 things about the Bard announcement that people pointed out to me that I didn't catch because I was so excited to just talk about Bard. One was, you know what? Hold on. Let me find it, because that picture's 1,000 words here, right? Hang on. Okay. Alright. Get this over here. Okay. So one of the things is the color. So there's pink, which is Mesmer, and there's orange, which is Engineer. So some speculation is that this is going to be a specialization available to 2 different classes. Or Ellie. Ellie is kind of red in the middle. So what if they're making shared specializations? You know? Like, what if this is available to 1, 2, or 3 classes, and then they're making more outside of that? I don't know. The second thing that I didn't notice about this is the grayscale picture in the background. So we've got... there's like, I don't know, there's some environment, some large like tree roots or something. There's a silhouette of a person standing here, and they're looking at what appears to be a ship, and there's a bunch of people like here. But there is some artwork in the background here that I don't recognize at a glance. That's the second thing I've had pointed out to me that I didn't talk about. And that's pretty cool as well. So, both of those things, the colors as well as the background art, are interesting. And I don't know if they mean anything. Like Shaman on WoW that was available to some races, but not all, at least in Vanilla WoW. I mean, it wasn't just Vanilla WoW. Shaman wasn't available to all for, like, over 10 years. The 10 years I played, that was true. Colors is going to be the new expansion. Theme color, the icon is going to be the elite spec icon for most likely Mesmer using Warhorn or Terrestrial Trident. Hot take here. And you know, it doesn't really affect much. I hope it's not Mesmer getting Bard. Mesmer is just a person that makes illusions and makes solid things out of light and yeets them at people. I don't understand why everyone thinks of them when they think... I don't understand why everyone thinks Mesmer when they think a musical profession is coming out. Makes no sense to me at all. Like, it's literally just, like, Green Lantern. And they're like, oh, guitar? That's Green Lantern. You failed as commander, and now you're a street musician trying to survive. I guess so. Mesmer summons laser swords with a laser beams with a greatsword. I mean, Elementalist also summons laser beam with plasma. It's because pink? I guess. Take your Mesmer, give it a try, throw it to the water, you'll understand though. Yeah, cool. Let's ask ArenaNet how much they've been caring about underwater stuff. Mechanist still doesn't work underwater. 3 expansions later. As opposed to Necro, because cartoon skeletons play xylophones on their ribs. Necromancers play death metal, obviously. Druid glyphs don't work underwater, yeah. Mesmers are closest to Lissa, the goddess of beauty and art, and Nightfall Vebby worship Lissa the most, and their culture had the most art and performance. That seems like a stretch. Like, you have to know that lore for it to make sense. Eliza P DLC boss is good. Yeah, I thought they were pretty good. The Liza P DLC took me like 16 or so hours, but like honestly 4 of them were just on the last boss. Lots of wipes until I got it. I killed it last night. It was quite challenging. It was fun though. I enjoyed it. When Mesmer was in Elster Guild Wars 2, his first tease as a minstrel, and it was later revealed as Mesmer. Yeah, I remember that. Congrats to the Golden Die in Baldur's Gate 3. I finished the VOD earlier. Thank you! Yes, we just finished the Honor Mode Baldur's Gate 3, and we just finished the Lies of P DLC. I'll be looking through the game recommendation list and the game keys I've currently got for tonight. I'll be honest, I was not actually planning to do another full playthrough of BG3. I was just like, oh, a lot of people are asking for this, I'll play it till I die, that'll use up some playtime. I was not expecting to do another 70-80 hour run. That was not planned. I was too good for my own good. I swear only the heavy armor classes can use shield. Chronomancer can use shield. Not true. Engineer can use shield. That's medium. So no. Let's see, the burden of being a good gamer. Yep. And you guys watching, so I can't just stop. Go play Dune and lose 100 plus hours. So I have a key for Dune Awakening. I was highly considering doing that. I'll say the end game bit doesn't really interest me, but if the like solo story stuff is interesting, maybe play it for that, you know? But I do have that. That is on my radar. You actually failed the honor run at camp? Well, Smashy, to be fair, I didn't try fighting back. I don't know, like, I just didn't want to fight my teammates. But I'm wondering, what if I had fought back and killed all of them? What would have happened? Like, is there an ending for that? Because I did let them kill me, hoping to see a cool ending cinematic, and there wasn't one. And then that failed to run, so I couldn't see if there was an ending cinematic for killing everybody. Muting for a bit, I still haven't finished BG3. Jackals, I bet you haven't even booted up BG3 in like 6 months. You've been saying that for so long. Mike, do you think the dual class system theory is possible? No, because the total number of classes is not divisible by 2. There's 9 classes. So it would be really weird if they made classes available to 2 things. Mike, can I ask what mouse do you use? If you do !PC, there is a link to a webpage that has all my hardware on it. Because my memory's terrible. C's title, my money's on it being Mesmer spec. It might be. It might be. There's a dude in the chest. Will you try new healer builds after the recent balance change? Yes. For example, Heal Like Mirage. I did Heal Like Mirage a few days ago. It's in Noxxi's queue to make it into a video. Yeah, we already did Heal Like Mirage. We did Heal Like Mirage. We did Staff Scourge with the new transfusion trait. And today I'll try something else. I've heard tale that new weapons have been tested in Bava Nisos. New weapons tested in Bava Nisos. Do you think they'll do a main hand focus for Bard? Main hand focus. I mean, it'd be interesting, but I don't know. Like, a lot of people are assuming Bard is going to be Mesmer. Okay, fine. Mesmer already has offhand focus. So does that mean that you're saying it could dual wield focuses? That would be interesting, but I don't really see them doing it. But if they did it, I'd be down for it. How many Coca-Colas so far today? It is 10:30 a.m. 0. I'm just trying to wake up. Have you seen the new Josh Strife Hayes video where he tries to finish 16 different MMOs at once? Yeah, not finish them at once. It was... Oh, fish. Yeah, fish. You said it right. I read it wrong. Yeah, I did see it. Honestly, yo, I have watched a lot of Josh Rife's videos. I think that was his most boring one ever. But it was I watched like half of it and then I skimmed the second half. But it was basically, you know, him showing off like a really fancy computer. But nah, it was a chuckle. I'm shocked how much effort he was able to put into that. Like that did take a massive amount of effort from him, because like some of those he had to like, you know, play for 20 hours just to be able to unlock the fishing and the various things. I want short bow for necros. Why? And I can't think of a single game of the thousands I've played where you play necromancer with a bow. I want short bow to be removed from engineers. It doesn't make any sense. Guy has cannons and mortars and guns, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna use a stick and string. Mug, have you tried heal like Vindicator? No, I might try it today. Amok, do you do exercises? You don't strike the type that's always on the computer all day. I don't. I mean, you guys have video footage of where I'm at, like 55 hours a week. I occasionally do exercises. I'm gonna be honest. I constantly like forget about it for a while and then like catch up and then do that like as an endless cycle. Mug, try new Bladesworn. What's new about it? How would you sell Guild Wars 2 to a new player in 2025? And any tips for someone creating their new character? What's up, Livian? Yeah, I got a few of them. So, I'm linking a video. That video right there that I just linked called Why Play Guild Wars 2, that is how I sold Guild Wars 2 to hundreds of thousands of people. That is how I would sell it to you. Also, for your new player question, that second link that I put in the chat is how I would answer that one. How ninja should use a bow, tie grenades to the arrows. You shoot arrows farther than you can throw a grenade. I mean, at that point you just use the mortar.
You must prove your strength.
My theory is they give Mesmer Bard, they give it short bow, it'll function with the same tech from Piano and Untamed tech, so you get key changes for shatters, and each key change your skills, a la Untamed with shared cooldowns. What the heck? You broke my little brain. I used to ride my bicycle around 250, 300 kilometers a week till I was rear-ended. Now I use expensive toys indoors. For a long time, so I have a treadmill at home, and for a long time, I would run on it for like 30 plus minutes a day. And there was one day I just had like agony in my feet. And I went to, what's the foot doctor called? Podiatrist? I went to a podiatrist, and they looked at it, and they're like, nothing's broken, your bones are fine, there's no cracks or anything. And they're like, you probably have like bruised the tendon. And they're like, what did you do? And I was like, I was running on a treadmill and watching like a TV. And they're like, okay, they're like, do you often do this? And I was like, I just started a few weeks ago, and now I run 30 minutes to an hour a day. They're like, you just started a few weeks ago, now you're running that much a day? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, all right, you got into it too fast. And they're like, wait for it to recover, and then just run once like every 3 days. And after a few weeks, run once every 2 days. And then after a few weeks, you know, you try to adapt your body to it. And I'm like, okay. So I did that. And over like a month or two, I did their instructions exactly. And the same thing happened. And then I got checked again, and then they were like, yeah, apparently like the tendons in your feet are just like really prone to injury. Awesome. So yeah, so I don't really do it anymore. But I used to, like, there was a period of time where I was actually exercising regularly, and then my body just said no, it just broke twice. It's time to change this on the site. Why play Guild Wars 2 in 2021 to 2025? Oh, yeah. You're right. Hang on a second. Let's see. Hang on. I can... Oh, let me open up Paint here. And then crop it. And then... Okay, let me send a message here. Okay, that is a good idea, and that has been sent. It is off to the races. Okay. I used to run like you till I took a treadmill to the knee. A treadmill to the bottom of the foot, repeatedly. Running, I can't even walk. Yeah, the thing is, like, I am, what is it that people say, like, when they're exercising and they get, like, runner's high, like endorphins or something like that? I don't think my body makes those. I have never had a time where I was exercising and it suddenly became enjoyable, you know, or something like that. But if I'm exercising and doing something where I can, like, watch a show, I can, like, tune out the exercise, you know? So running was great for me while it lasted, because I could, like, run, I could run and just, like, you know, watch a show. And I would give myself a rule. Like, I'd find a show I really wanted to watch, but I would only allow myself to watch an episode while I was running. So that kind of made it to where I would sometimes look forward to running because I could continue the show I wanted to watch. And that worked for me for a while until I freaking hurt myself. So, and then I never really found another one that I could, you know, do like that. I'll say this about Bard spec. People shouldn't assume we're getting new weapons, as we've gotten 2 new weapons since the last specialization. Yeah, I'm not assuming new weapons. Exercise is black magic. It hurts to do, but the more you do it, the more powerful you become. Yeah, but it also has the most intense XP decay system of anything I've ever heard of. Like, any day that you don't do it, you lose, like, 3 days of progress. Let's see. That could genuinely just be undiagnosed ADHD. I mean, maybe. I am a weirdo who sits here in front of the computer streaming for every day for 7 years, so I might have something. So am mine. I dread exercising. I'm in agony while doing it, but after I feel great and I'm glad I did it, I hate it. I'm totally copped out about new elite specs, and that's why it was delayed. I don't know for sure if we're getting new elite specs. It would be interesting. I'm sure they're going to have something new and interesting. Because, yeah, obviously, you know, they make a new product. They want it to be something we want, right? Like, they don't want to make a bad product. So whatever the new expansion is, there's going to be something in it that players will hopefully find desirable, you know? In the most recent one, there was the new Warclaw. There was homesteads. There was the spears, you know? In Soto, there was a new way of getting Skyscale. There was the new Skyscale skin with the Cryptus Skyscale. There was expanded weapon proficiencies. There was Weapon Master Specialization. Before that, there was like the turtle. There was fishing and skiffs. You know, there's always features to where, like, even if you're a player that hates the story, they try to add fun features in every one of these. And, yeah. At Muck, have you tried taking testosterone shots? No. I have not. John says, I have a bit of knowledge on the field, and it's, say, go to a physio that focuses on athletes and rehabs. A lot of foot doctors don't really look at running forms. They just check if anything is broken, give painkillers, etc. They didn't get into the reason why you got hurt over time, and they aren't trained in preventing that. I mean, it's possible. I don't know what you know, and I don't know what they know, so I can't really say. It's possible. It would explain why I like watching your stream and I've been able to keep up my 1-year sub streak. Treadmill's great. I watched the entirety of One Piece on the treadmill over 2 years. Wow, the entirety of One Piece? Like 1,000 episodes? Impressive. That's a lot. Maybe the next expansion, the commander will join a circus. Sounds like you should have gone to a sports medicine doctor. I don't know. I don't know. Just check no new elite specs since 2020. Yeah, the last time new elite specs were out of the game was End of Dragons. And that was recent. You know, that was like last year or something. Nobody's watched all of One Piece. That chatter's a liar. Okay, let's see. Mike, I was thinking of doing spear gun kills. Is there a spear gun skill that bounces or AoE? What, for like any class at all? The Ranger one has AoE on the 1 and the 3. As far as a bouncing attack, not that I know of off the top of my head. All this running bad talk makes me think subathon with Muck doing push-ups for each sub. Oh my god. Like a push-up? I don't mean to brag, I can do a push-up. I will tell you, in full honest disclosure, like, I can do 20 push-ups. I am dying by the 20th one, right? That is not something I do regularly. I know I can do it, but, it's rough, buddy. It's rough, buddy. Mike, I heard we're getting a Guild Wars 3 announced this year. Is your NDA over? I have not heard that I'm on any NDAs. I also have not heard that they're doing a Guild Wars 3. I'm going to tell you what I've said a million times before. That sounds great. If they're doing it, I would love to try it. I have no idea what it would be. Like, what I have said before is Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 are completely different games. What is Guild Wars 3 even going to be? Is it going to be an MMO? A deck builder? An extraction looter shooter? I don't even know if it's going to be an MMO or the same genre. It's Guild Wars 2, but 50% more? That's so stupid. Shut up. Morning Market Chat. Hi, Velmore. An extraction deck builder looter shooter. Yeah, just all of the above. I need to get this out of my system. I just started with Iceberg Saga and the storytelling is bad. Really? Okay. I thought Iceberg Saga storytelling was fantastic up until the ending, and then my opinion is they dropped the ball at the end. The Iceberg Saga was all like creepy, you know, with like, you know, Jormag whispering in people's heads and messing with them and stuff like that. But yeah. Muck, what is your favorite cheese? Alright, I know Europeans are going to say that's not real cheese, but the one I use the most, because of where I live, is American cheese. On top of that, though, I will say I have liked almost every cheese I've ever had, except blue cheese. Blue cheese, I found repulsive. But just about everything else, I've greatly enjoyed, in terms of cheese. HOA is mowing. Could you shed some light on your idea on how the Guild Wars looter shooter would look like? No, I am not expanding on looter shooters. Would you prefer an expansion to an existing story or lore, or to explore an area of the world we've never seen before? You could do both. I mean, that's kind of what they've been doing. Like, with the Wizard's Tower, we went to areas we've never been before, and it was an expansion on existing lore. You know? HOA does the mowing. Yes. The neighborhood I live in has an HOA fee that we pay each month, and they do all of the yard work for the whole neighborhood. I've told this story before, so I'll just do a condensed version. But when my wife and I moved from an apartment into our first home, I was like, look, I got 2 requirements. I want fast internet, and I'm not doing yard work. That's it. You can pick everything else. You can make the walls plaid and the ceiling striped pink. I don't care. Just give me those 2 things, and you can pick literally everything else as long as it's like affordable. And so she found this one, and there's a modest HOA fee each month, but they do all the HOA fees go toward lawn service, and so there's a crew that comes out like every week or 2, and they mow and edge and everything the entire neighborhood. So I do not have to do it. Is it expensive? No, it's not that bad. No crazy HOA policing? No. But okay, so a lot of us have heard of HOA horror stories on the internet, you know? Where it's like someone has a lawn gnome on their front thing, and then like someone knocks on the door and complains about it. Like, no, I've never seen anything like that. There are HOAs that literally don't give a damn. as long as you're not doing something crazy. Like, I think, like, what it would take for, I think, our HOA to have a complaint, like, if you, okay, let's say you had, like, 8 cars, and they were, like, all parked on the curb in front of your house and blocking half the street, I think someone would probably say something. But anything short of that, I don't think they would do anything. Let's see. John says, game metaphors wise, it sounded like you went to Nurse Joy when your team fainted. They said, yep, they fainted. You challenged the 8th gym at level 10 without knowing anything about your matchups. Learning about the basics of running, proper aftercare, and injury prevention is groundwork needed to exercise properly without hurting yourself. Muk, sports medicine doctors, a physiotherapist, what you should go to. That sounds great. That also sounds out of my budget. But I'll just sit here and get fat. It's fine. I can afford getting fat. I can't afford, like, going and talking to those people. Most HOAs is one crazy nosy neighbor away from becoming bad. Maybe, but I'll say we've lived here for a long time, and it's been good. Does that mean your HOA would allow the 13-foot tall Home Depot skeleton for Halloween? Pretty sure there is one of my neighbors that puts one of those up each year. So yeah, I don't think they care. I got one neighbor, it's like 10 houses down, that each year for like Halloween and Christmas, they go all out. Like Halloween, their whole front yard is like a graveyard and stuff like that. Skeletons everywhere. Christmas, there's like inflatable Santas and inflatable Rudolph and like all kinds of. It's always funny looking at it. Yeah, they go crazy and no one cares. But yeah, there is absolutely. It's kind of like landlords, right? Like there's so many horror stories of just horrible landlords, but at the same time, there's a lot of normal ones you never hear about because they're just doing their own thing, you know. But yeah, in my case, live in a neighborhood with an HOA. I did it voluntarily, and no, I have zero regrets because I got what I wanted. I pay a little fee each month, and I never have to do yard work. That's what I wanted from it. We all have the weird neighbor. Well, those that don't are the weird neighbor. I can afford getting fat. I can't afford talking to those people. I felt that in my soul. Yeah. Yeah, do a price comparison of Twinkies versus, what was it? Health physiologist. I don't know. Physiotherapist. Yeah, price comparison. Junk food is cheaper than healthy food? Yes, it is. The vast majority of HOAs are actually pretty good and don't really bother residents unless there's a lot of complaints about something like loud music or holiday decoration. Yeah. Yep. You Americans celebrate a 16th century tradition that originated from Scotland, England, and Ireland. I'm talking about Halloween. Okay, Americans do celebrate Halloween. I'm gonna be honest, and I am not a history buff, okay? I'm stupid. I admit that. But I know that I'm stupid. I thought Halloween came from like Mexican Day of the Dead. You're talking about like Scotland and Ireland. I actually don't know what you're referring to. Let's see. I have a neighbor that has the 10-foot skeleton. They dress it up for the season. Like right now, it has goggles and a snorkel and swim floaties. That's great. I think you're cool keeping you. Thank you for playing yours too. Hello, Echo. Thank you. Americans also celebrate Happy Honda Days. Nugami. Alright, I have never seen anyone celebrate Happy Honda Days. Never. Toyota-thon. I don't disagree that junk food is generally cheaper. I found over the years that the biggest expense I have for eating healthy is the time expense. I could cook for a week on around $30, so it takes a minimum of an hour to cook them. Yeah. Let's see. Alright, I think I'm caught up on the chats here. Okay. Heal a lack vindicator. Where's this stupid thing? Let's see, raids. Let's see. Hold on, I'm navigating the Snow Crows right now. Although some people told me that this one is not great. But let me see what they've got. Let's see. Ta-da. Heal a lack vindicator. Here it is. Let's see. Will you use one of the chat suggestions later? I'm looking at one of the chat suggestions right now, which is look at Heal the Lack Vindicator. Alright, let's see what we got here. See if this is any good. Also, hang on a sec. Does Guildgen have this one? I don't know. Why is your jungle stalker fast and curious when there's a cheetah pet that one can use? The cheetah's name is Yida. Because I would throw it at people. Yeah, the cheetah already had a name. It was already taken. Alright, Heal Like Vindy repeatedly uses Dodge, Saint's Shield to grant Alacrity, Healing, and Barrier. It relies on Scepter for boon output. Staff should only be used for Defiance Break. It also needs to cast Energy Meld and Alliance Tactics as often as possible for Might output. The build has lower Defiance Break and Stability output than other Heal Rev builds. For a setup with more, this build shares gear and can easily swap to Heal Alac Renegade. Sets of skills, Alliance Tactics, Luxon skills are selfish damage focus, Curse skills are support, Centaur, casting Scepter Shield, Blossoming Aura, the Worldly Bond auto attacks, dodge frequently, and never sit at full endurance, swap between legends off cooldown. While in Alliance stance, hit tactics as much as possible, keep up prot with Awakening, use Urn of St. Victor for healing, drop Urn when necessary. There was someone earlier that said that there was a version of this that was better than the Snowcrows one. I wonder if that person is still here. Let's see. Muck, you should get the Vindy build from the chatter that the other chat. I want to see what they came up with. Yeah, I want to see it too. Oh, here we go. Okay, what is this? Ah! It's the full unbridled power of the sun. That's what it is. It's too early for this. Hang on. Oh, the dark... Dude, the dark mode plugin doesn't even work on this website. Alright, I'll just keep this on the other screen. Rotation, Reaver's Rage, F3, Awakening, wait for Awakening cooldown, F3, Reaver's Rage, wait for... Dude, I don't even know what Reaver's Rage is. I don't know what button that is. Okay, hold on a second. I need to like, write this down. Okay. Alright. Let's see. So I need to be on my Revenant. Oh no, he's at the end of the Bavaniso's jumping puzzle. I'm gonna ruin it. Meh. Okay. You talked about push-ups to try to see how many I could do. I managed 40, now my arms hurt. You're stronger than you're currently stronger than me, Alpha. Yes, you get to the JP first. Well, no, I mean he was sitting at the end of the JP. All right. No Centaur stance in this one. Man, that feels weird to be a healer with no Centaur stance. Aerodrome. I can do 10 push-ups on my knees, not a single proper one. I can do 10 proper push-ups, and then if I, like, you know, want to just feel like I'm dying, I can go to 20, but those last few are really a struggle. Time for a new character slot? No. Muck, what's the alt stance? I'm loving this chatter's thoughts already. I'll link you what they linked to me. I'm still looking at it. Okay. Alright, let's try this out. So, we got Scepter, Shield, Staff. Alright, I don't have a legendary scepter. I've got this. Alright, scepter, shields, staff. Okay. And let's go to build. Alright, what is this? Salvation, Invocation, and unite all people within our nation. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. And legends are these two and dwarf. And oh, that's the wrong button. There we go. Had to go to that one. All right. And transference and concentration on both. And is it Harrier on all? Okay, Harrier on all weapons. Let's see. Transference. Harrier, apply to all. Concentration. Okay, and then this one. Transference. Concentration. Alright, weapons are done. Alright, armor is all Harriers with Rune of Water. Are your low intensity builds updated? They still work. So, if you do !LI builds, any build on that webpage, I have tested after Janthier, and it worked after Janthier. Let's see. Harrier. Water. Apply to all armor. If you use food with a little bit of concentration, Rune of the Monk also works. Harrier on all this stuff. Ugh, I hate going full Harriers, but fine. Let's see. Relic of the Midnight King. Midnight. Probably helps if I could type. Midnight King. What was this one? Grant might and fury to nearby allies when you disable an enemy. Okay. It's low-level underwater rebreather. Alright. And very important, let's reskin some of this stuff. Just make it a bit less flashy. Okay, there we go. Alright, I think that's all the things. So, let's look at what this build has given us and see what we think. Salvation. The end of your dodge roll heals allies. Healing done to other allies is increased for a short duration after invoking a legend. After invoking... Does that just mean changing legends? Gain healing power. Gain concentration based on a portion of healing power. Blinding, immobilizing, or affecting a foe with crowd control heals nearby allies. Increase healing to other allies. Legendary Centaur skills apply boons in an area. Joke's on you, we didn't take Centaur. Heal allies around yourself when using a legend skill. Heal allies around Ventari's tablet when using a legendary Centaur skill. Invocation. Gain fury when you invoke a legend. Invoking a legend removes a condition. All damage dealt is increased while you have fury. Invoking a legend grants boons to nearby allies based on the legend that was invoked. Didn't you tell me you don't have to swap legends with this build? Why are we taking so much stuff for invoking legends? Gain energy when you break stun. Strike enemies around you, inflicting vuln and gaining quickness. Gain additional quickness for each foe you hit when you invoke a legend. Like, what? We're taking so much stuff for invoking legends, but you said you don't have to legend swap. You don't have to, but you really should be swapping legends. Well, if that's the case, then why is this build better than the other one? There's nothing better. Also, Spirit Boon gives stab when swapping. Spirit Boon? So swapping to Dwarf gives stab to allies. Okay. Vindicator instead of dodging. Teabag. Amnesty of Xingje. Legendary Alliance abilities gain an additional bonus. Activating Energy Meld or Alliance Tactics grants both of these bonuses simultaneously at greater amounts to nearby allies. Vigor. Okay. Kurzik abilities gain regen. Luxon ability grant might. Gain health and boons when swapping legends or by using alliance tactics while attuned to the legendary alliance. Gain health and boons when swapping legends or by using alliance tactics while attuned to legendary alliance. Energy meld grants more endurance and grants its endurance and vigor to nearby allies. Okay. Gain increased power while above the health threshold. Gain increased power, healing power when below it. 50%. Drop from above, granting barrier and healing to allies in the affected area. Affected area of your dodge is increased. You now heal allies in the area when you land instead of dealing damage. Outgoing healing is increased for a period of time. Gives alacrity and gives barrier. Okay. Wow, that is a very pathetic amount of barrier. Okay. Let's see. Spawn a golem. Oh, hold on. Go back. Average. Average. Spawn. And adjust self.
If you have any inquiries, come speak to me.
Utility. Quickness. What? Quickness? That was weird. It like appeared and disappeared. Okay. Alright, so let's look at what we got here. I haven't played Rev in a long time, so this is essentially a fresh look for me. Alright, so first of all, if I'm just autoing... So, autoing helps keep might up. Alright. Let's see. 3 requires ally targeting. 2... Okay. Alright, and then energy melds helps with endurance. Okay, so we're autoing, we're dodging anytime we get to full endurance. We're using energy meld. Hold on, does energy meld fill the whole endurance bar or just like half of it? I need to test that. It's like 3/4. Okay, so I should probably use both dodges before using energy meld. Alright. What else we got? Break stun on nearby allies and grant protection. Is Awakening... Does Awakening give you... sorry, is Awakening stability? Is that you only, or is that the whole team? You only, but it's a group stun break. Okay, are we relying on this to keep prot up? Or is there something else for the prot? Sadly, yes. Okay, then group stun break doesn't matter because you're hitting it every time it lights up. Unless it just very, rarely, lines up with the other stuff. Alright, Tree Song. Grant regen and cleanse conditions from allies in the targeted area, healing them for each condition removed. Gain endurance for each affected ally, gain additional endurance for each condition removed. Alright, that's pretty cool. So you've got a spammable condition cleanse here. That's nice, I like that. Evade backward, granting boons to allies. So to keep resistance on the party, you have to keep running in and launching yourself away? Oh my god. Alright, so probably not using that every time it lights up. It is an evade. You could use that when you need to dodge, like do a proper dodge. Let's see. Okay, so... I know we took, Rune of the Midnight King. Which helps for, like, when we disable someone. Where does that come in? Hills Alex grants bonus. Alright, so this is Aegis on demand. The Sid Sprite taking part of it. Yeah, I can't really do anything about it right now. Let's see.
Thank you for the great content.
Red ally skill stuns. Spam it. What? Hold on. Rotation is awakening. You already lost me. What is that? You're doing the Snow Crows thing right now. E. Okay. F3, Reaver's Rage. Same button. Wait, F3, you said I didn't have to swap legends. You lied to me. E. F3. E again. Wait till cooldown, back to blue. Awakening, wait till cooldown, back to red.
Thank you Mr. Bezos for helping me get rid of those ads. And thank you for helping me support my favorite streamer, or Mukluk.
Or Mukluk, that's right. We all know how it is. Oh man. I gotta say, so far I hate this playstyle. The F3 gives regen? Yeah, I know, but you told me we didn't have to swap legends. And then we're basically swapping legends. I'm not saying what's the reason for it. I'm saying you lied to me. Not outside of Alliance, tee-hee. Tee-hee? Oh my god. It's like that meme with the anime girl, like, ooh. Like, you got me. Alright, so as far as I can tell, we're only cleansing conditions from allies when we are in, blue. Technically, you're not swapping legends. Oh my gosh. Oh no, I accidentally turned into a dwarf. I'm lost! Have a road. I didn't mean it. It's over. Yeah, all the bones fallen off. Turned into a dwarf. Alright, so I know, like, besides the regen, most of our healing is coming from just, like, the jumps. I think. And Fury is really, really barely staying on there. Hold on, let me just see if it's like a skill issue here. Oh, now my endurance is, struggling to keep up. I don't like the Vindy dodge change. It feels too sudden and not evade attacks. What do you mean it doesn't evade? Heal, dodge button, heal button on St. Victor blue is a group heal. Shield 4, shield 5. Hang on a sec. So the actual heal. Channel your rage to nearby ally, healing and empowering yourself for each enemy struck. Heals allies in an area. Okay. And then... Okay, so the 4-5 heal... Wait, what? Hang on. How do I get it to do Nomad's Advance? It's always doing Battle Dance. Oh, that's the red one. Why is it giving me the tooltip for the red one when I'm in the blue one? Oh my god, the tooltips don't update when you change. What? Why did the tooltips not change? So it just shows the tooltips for both all the time. Wow. Okay, that could be improved. All right. What's that? What else? St. Victor, hold up a dead guy, slam it into the ground. Do you use the urn much? This is it. I don't actually attack with this build. I just hold the urn the whole time. Do you have a guide you're working off or winging it? This build is not exactly intuitive. I was going to try the Heal Alack Vindy, and I was pulling up Snow Crows, and someone in chat was like, don't use Snow Crows. My build's way easier to play. And I'm like, alright, what do you got? And here we are. Alright, let's try this out. So... let's do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Alright, we're in medium intensity agony field, and I'm totally fine right now. Oh my gosh. Hello, thank you for the subs. I appreciate you. Sorry, I'm learning how to jump up and down. I've noticed I have self-stab up, not 100% of the time, but quite often. That's kind of cool. Alright. I think I got a handle on this now. So my current thoughts is we are keeping up these boons pretty well. I will say Fury and Prot are really cutting it
Look,
close.
Muck, I tried my best. D at last you have a lot of utility on demand and you be bouncing. Take this prime as compensation.
You be bouncing. Like, I was about to say nice things. You didn't have to bribe me, but bribe accepted. Thank you. Alright. Alacrity, super staying up. Regen, super staying up. Might, it's staying up. Prot and Fury, they're cutting it really close. But they're barely 100% uptime, so if someone goes out of range, they're probably going to lose it. The healing, the barrier, all pretty solid right now. So what's missing? Swiftness. Yo, you got any swiftness? Did I miss it somewhere? Do we have any swiftness? No. No swiftness? But what about these long dancer's legs? Oh my gosh. Reckless, do you have any codes for buying the game? Do I have any codes? No, I do not. What's up, Reckless? If someone's out of range, that's their problem. Sometimes. But there are times like where, you know, group members go out of range to do a mechanic and you don't want them to just immediately lose all their boons. Herald can also get 100% uptime on swiftness. Herald can't give alacrity. This is an alacrity build. Shield 4 is Aegis on demand, but also gives prot if you want to increase it. I was answering to a chat that wasn't intended for you. Understood. Sorry, my bad. You're not pressing Shield 4 enough. Why would I need Shield 4? Shield 4, I thought we save it for emergency healing / Aegis. Okay. Let's say Tokizo. Let's say I swap to Dwarf Stance. And I am using that. Like, I swap to Dwarf just to give stability to the group. Just like, you know, I hit the button just to give stab, right? While I'm in Dwarf, what's the best thing I can do until I can get out of Dwarf? Besides, you know, dodging and swinging the scepter. Like, I know about the road. Is there anything besides the road? Also, I did not... Wait, what? I did not get stability when I went to Dwarf. Why? Oh my god, it doesn't give it to you. It just gives it to others. Elite for group damage reduction, road for stab. It's only in combat? Okay, hold on. It does give it to you? Okay. Hang on. Alright. Swapping to Dwarf. Okay, it did give me stability. Alright. Alright. Okay. Best thing you can do while in Dwarf is go Shiro. Alright, I know enough about Rev to know that's BS. Shut up. Okay.
The console and begin combat practice. If you have any questions, I'm all ears.
Okay, so while in blue... Okay, so we've got... The 4, the 5, and the heal are all big heals on demand if things get spicy. You're doing constant healing with bouncing up and down. You're spamming E to keep up protection. Also, it does some self-stab. You're using Tree Song often for regen and condition cleansing. Also some endurance. Not really using Battle Dance much. St. Victor is another emergency button, so you kind of have 4 emergency buttons. That's awesome. And then if I go to the red one, you're pretty much just pressing E whenever it's up to do CC on the enemy, which also triggers your Relic of the Midnight King. While you're in this, what do these other buttons do? Unleash rage at foes in the area, gaining boons and endurance for each foe struck. Lunge forward, damaging foes, gaining might. I don't really need any of this. You don't need Tree Song for regen, F3 is enough. Okay, but it cleanses conditions, right? I think that might be your only condition cleanse that I've seen so far. Let's see, Scepter... Irish delay. So Scepter 2 does some barrier. Scepter 3 is the thing where you have to target an ally, so we don't really want to mess with that. Staff 4 is also Condi Cleanse. If I swap to Staff and use Staff 4 to cleanse some conditions, does Might fall off before I get back to the other weapon? That would be my concern, because it feels like a lot of our Might comes from Scepter autos. Let's see. Urn prevents you from being healed. Wait, what? Oh my god, it does. What? I didn't know that. I did not know that. I mean, I knew the urn was like buffs and stuff around it. I didn't know it prevents you from being healed. Huh. Cannot be healed. Reduces damage taken. Plus 50% move speed, minus 50% incoming damage, plus 50% condition damage. Plus plus 1/4 of a percent what? What is that line? Plus 1/4 percent damage. 0 heal effectiveness. The tactical urn? Yeah. Okay, anyway, alright. Shield 4, Aegis and Big Heal on Demand. Shield 5, Channeled Heal on Demand. Our self-heal is a heal in an area. Which, it's really weird. It says number of casts 5. I don't know what that means. F3 also gives might. You could spam that if you want to. What? I guess 3 might. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't want to play like that. But yeah. Alright, so hold on. Let's take some notes here. So this can keep might, fury, it's close. Prot, it's close, unless you burn the Aegis skill, but it is keeping it up. Regen, alacrity, no swift. And has barrier, healing. Okay, let's talk CC. I know that the legendary CC for a Revenant is Staff 5. Do we have anything else? I know there's the E on... for me, it's E on F3, this thing. Reaver's Rage, which is a little bit... The Dwarf Chain. Slow and Taunt. Oh yeah, it's got 2 forms of soft CC. Okay. Alright, let's say a big CC bar pops up, Tokizo. What is the first thing you reach for? I'm assuming you would reach for the staff before you would reach for the dwarf. Yes. Okay. Alright, so we're of the same mind on that. Alright, so you go to staff, you do staff 5, combined with your group, that's probably enough. And then you're waiting until you can swap back to the scepter. What am I doing in staff while waiting on getting back into scepter? We could just auto, which does do world finishers, and it also does healing. The 4 is the condition cleanse and the blast finisher. Let's see. 2? What is 2? Smash the ground. Allies in the area are healed. Heals for more if an enemy was struck. 5 seconds. You could use that like once or twice. Auto is heal. 2 is heal. 3 is block. 4 is Condi cleanse. 3 is block. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. For some reason, I was thinking the only skill that spins the staff in front of you is the 5. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. It spins. Alright. Shield 5 is also block. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one's obvious. You're like in a bunker. If that one wasn't a block, I would be personally offended. Hi, Makai Chad. Hi, Tommy! Also, I got a few people to thank. Give me just a second here. Let me open the log here. Okay, what do we got here? Smashy24, Lore Rat, FBA42, Blast Jester, Mr. Barana, Tokizo, thank you for the subs. Appreciate you guys. I did hear the notifications. They were in queue in my brain, and they just hit the frontal lobe. What are we testing? Tokizo Revenant style. Alright, so... I don't... this is definitely kind of awkward for me, because I don't main Revenant, but I get it. Let me tell you my thoughts on this so far. What do we got? I made some little notes here. Alright, so... keeping these boons up. We have... Aegis on demand. We have Stability on demand. We have... CC on demand. We have burst healing on demand. Okay. Condition cleansing. So hang on a sec. So Condi cleanse. Typo. We have staff 4. We have the second skill. What is it called? Tree song. We have tree song. Let's see. Why is this class not green? Can I swap now? No. That's not my thought. Let's see. You have high uptime on self-stability, which we suck on Greer. Awesome on everything else. Snowcrows has swiftness because they use Relic of Phoebe, but Fury upkeep is for using Scepter 3 on an ally. Okay, the last time I played Rev Scepter, when you attached the beam to an ally, you had to wait for the skill to flip over, like 4 seconds later, and then you had to hit 3 again to give Fury before 6 seconds later had passed. So there was like a 2-second window where you had to hit the button again, otherwise no one got Fury. Is this still like that? Because I remember that feeling god-awful to play. Yes, it's still like that. Okay. That's a no for me, dog. That was pretty terrible to play. In my opinion, of course, I'm just saying I didn't like it, alright? Obviously, some people will main this. I'm just talking about me. Read the traits giving Fury, specifically about how many allies it targets. Traits giving Fury. Gain Fury when you evoke I mean, that's self-only. All damage out. Are you just talking about that one? Gain Fury when you invoke a legend. Yeah, but we're not using that, Nico. Like, look, we were using Alliance Tactics. That's not invoking a legend. No group Fury? Yeah, there is. Hang on. Boom. Right there. From Relic of the Midnight King. We got it. Relic of the Midnight King. Grant Might and Fury to nearby allies when you disable an enemy. Fury, 10 seconds. 1 second global cooldown. Number of targets, 5. All right, I think that they thought that we were getting the Fury somewhere else. Okay. All right. Scepter 3 on an ally is used to help for Fury might upkeep. Yeah. So, all right, back to the screen. Back to the scribbles. All right, so we're keeping up Might, Fury, Protection, Regen, Alacrity, Barrier, Healing, high uptime on self-stability, which is kind of neat. You have Aegis on demand, you have Stability on demand, you have CC on demand, you have Burst Healing on demand. All that's pretty cool. Condi Cleanse. All right, was there any other Condi Cleanse besides Staff 4 and Tree Song that we know of? You could also look at Relic of Altruism. What's that? Grant Might and Fury to nearby allies after using a heal skill. All right, so this means that you would need to use your heal off cooldown. So if you do that, you don't have to swap a lot to red guy pretty much ever. But it would allow you to stay blue and you would have access to Tree Song like all the time. But you would need to just constantly use Selfish Spirit off cooldown. Dude, their heal skills only have a 20-second cooldown? If you need a lot of healing or bubble or Condi Cleanse, you can swap Jalis for Ventari, but you lose Stab. Technically, Ventari Elite has Stab, but it's horrible to use. I remember it, yeah. You had to, like, order it with 6 weeks shipping. I remember that one. Okay. Have you tried Centaur? No, I haven't yet. The Snowcrows version of this... Do I still have that open? I don't. The Snowcrows version of this build was, I think, the Twins and Centaur. Not consistently, heal skills have 10-second cooldown, Relic has 20, so you have 10 in which you don't need to use heal skill. I'm curious, if I do this, does it give me like a buff on the Bard to let me know the Relic is ready? No, it doesn't. Midnight King. Okay. Let's try something a bit over the top.
Feel free to approach the console and begin combat practice. If you have any questions,
Extreme.
I'm all
So for anyone who doesn't know, the extreme damaging field is requires more healing to survive than any, like, almost any raid boss. It's so over the top. Like, you don't need to be able to survive this to be a competent healer. But I'm curious. It hurts. It hurts. I'm having energy issues. Oh god, this doesn't block the agony field. Okay, wow, shield 5 does not block the agony field. I could survive an extreme just to let you know, but that's also because of dodging. For a group, you need to use Ventari. Yeah, the whole question is, can you keep your group alive in agony field? And for the first time, I was having energy issues. The energy hit 0. You don't need to double cast Scepter 3 for Fury. Put it in a pet relic if you want to test it for yourself. Wait, what? Dude, I don't really want to be targeting allies, targeting enemies, targeting allies, targeting enemies. Have you tried Spectre? Not yet, no. Like, here, hold on a second. What's the, what is the relic? Was it like pirate or parrot? Privateer, summon a parrot. Okay. Let me turn that off. Alright. Okay, so you don't have to click the skill a second time. So whoever told me that you did earlier was wrong. It's clunky, but if you set closest ally target as a bind, you get used to it and you don't have to do it all the time. Kind of worried about energy, though. The second click is for barrier, not boons. Okay. Alright, I'll change this back. Okay. Alright, well, we gave it a shot. Let's see what the other one is. One sec. Snow Crush. Did I close that tab? I guess I did. I'm stupid. Alright, raids, Revenants. I jumped to the stream, find Muk downstated on the golem. We turned the Agony Aura up to extreme just to see what would happen. And you saw what happened. Let's see. Monk runes, Harriers, some givers, Relic of Phoebe for swiftness. Does Phoebe have an ICD that you have to keep track of? 10 seconds. No, you don't have to think about it. Okay. Concentration, transference. Okay. So, let me see. What do they say about this? Let's see. Harmony, or resilient spirits. Periodically give barrier for each unique boon you have. Gain. That's self-only. Okay. Heal eyes around you using a legend skill. Rising Tide. Spirit Boon again. Charge Mist. When swapping to Centaur or casting Tranquility, the Revenant gains Tranquil, which enhances the next legendary Centaur stance used. Natural Harmony, increased healing and grants endurance. Purifying Essence cleanses one more condition. Blah, 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 blah. While not necessary, it's suggested to set custom keybinds for set personal target and take personal target. Use them for an ally you know will remain close to the group about doing no fight mechanics. Since Otherworldly Bond must be targeting an ally for boons and barrier, this keybind can be used before activating it to ensure the correct version of the skill is cast and positioned properly. Dodge frequently, make sure to never sit at full endurance. Use energy meld off cooldown. We were already doing that. Swap between Twins and Centaur off cooldown to maintain harmony. Making sure to deplete energy to trigger Charge Mist. While in Alliance stance, hit Tactics as much as possible and keep protection with Awakening. Use Urn of St. Victor for passive healing. And drop Urn of St. Victor when necessary. Huh? Use Urn for passive healing. But while you're holding the Urn, you're immune to heal. So they're saying just use it like all the time? That's going to get somebody killed. Swap to Staff only when Defiance Break is needed, and return to Scepter Shield before the Might drops. Start in Scepter Shield, Alliance, use Otherworldly Bond targeting an ally. That's Scepter 3, do a dodge. Selfless Spirit, plus Awakening, plus Urn of St. Victor. Hold on. Why are they opening... hold on. I'm learning. Why are they opening with the Urn? Just for the healing. It heals your team. Is this build dropping an Urn? I was looking at the Snow Crows version of this build, and they basically start the fight with the Urn, and then just throw it down after a few seconds, which Scroll down and read the highlight.
If you have any questions,
Yeah, okay, hang on. Alright. This opener aims to cast Alliance Tactics 3 times before leaving Alliance stance. Dodge, Alliance, Energy Meld, Dodge, Envoy of Exuberance. That's Shield 4. Blossoming Aura. That's Scepter 2. Protective Solace. Might Sources. Otherworldly Bond Ally version. Alliance Tactics. Energy Meld. Auto 2. These sources can maintain 25 stacks of Might easily. They take time to ramp. If Might is falling off, make sure you are casting these more often. The opener grants exactly 25 Might, and if any steps are skipped, your subgroup may suffer. Important boon sources. Urn of St. Victor negates all incoming healing received and will deal self-damage over time while active. Because of this, it is important to monitor your health and make sure to cast Drop Urn before attempting to recover health, or all self-healing will be prevented. Barrier will mitigate the health loss. Since it also reduces incoming damage, Urn can be used to mitigate heavy damage, especially when tanking. If doing so, it should be dismissed afterward if health is low. When possible, use dodges to prevent damage completely instead. The longer the skill is able to be upkept, the more healing you can generate for the squad. The extra boons from Urn are not necessary. Do not risk downing trying to get them. All of them are available on other skills and other parts of the build. You get with that thing minus 50% all damage, plus 1/4% Condi and heal team over time. I suspect they suggest using it on start because it also drains your HP and you're full on health. Yeah, I was just looking because like the opener here, it never says drop the urn. It says like you get here, you start the urn, and it never says drop it. But I guess down here they're like, drop it when you feel bad. So I was like, what? Okay. Interesting. And there's nowhere else in the build to get swiftness other than Relic of Phoebe. That is a bummer. I'm kind of surprised at how short the cooldown is. You can just do this all day. I love losing health to heal others, but why is that a rev thing and not a necro thing? I don't know. That would be... I mean, it would be perfect for necro if they could just think of like a theme for it, like call it transfusion or something like that. Then transferring health to others would make a lot of sense. I think it would be really like in class, in character. But, you know, that's just spitballing. I don't know if they'll ever do something like that. The swiftness problem is like the one for Chrono. Okay. Let's see. Adjust self. No, not adjust self. Hold on. Pulsing damage. Put it back on moderate. And Golem is fine. Okay, so do that. Do that. And this thing. And this thing. And I hit too many buttons, I guess. I'm out of... Oh, I didn't... I see the problem. I had the urn still going. Oh, this is a terrible start. So if I screw up my energy, I'm kind of stuck in crap energy land for a long time with this. So, Tokizo, did you make this build, or did you get it from somebody else? I did it. I take the blame. No, I was just thinking what to call the video. I tried Tokizo's Vindicator. We're gonna make you famous or infamous. What are we practicing and why? Heal, Alacrity, Vindicator. I'm so sorry to everyone. Taquitos Vindicator. Oh my gosh. Tequila's Vindicator. I tried Taquizo's awful, no good Vindicator build. No, it's fine. Okay, hold on a second. Call of Duty, I tried a healing build from chat, and the thumbnail is a wipe squad. Yeah, the thumbnail would be like the squad window. 9 people dead, I'm the only one standing, and it just shows my character looking at the camera, eyeballs pointed in different directions. All right, hold on. Hold on. What's the opener again? Hold on. Let me go back to the notes. So F3. So you start in red. Awakening. Awakening. Wait for. Reaver's Rage F3. Awakening. Wait for Awakening cooldown. F3. Reaver's Rage. What was Awakening? Okay, hold on. Toki, how do you... what's your opener? I'm assuming I need to start out on red to get the might up. Burst said, just started my first MMO ever. Nice, what MMO was it? What's your take on tanks in PvP right now and which is strongest? Do I play PvP? I have, over the years, played a lot of it. I have 5,800 games played. However, I have not played it much recently. I don't know what the current meta is, so I can't give you an honest answer on that. Let's see. What are the best healer builds right now? Depends on what you're looking for. For example, if you want a buffer on the group so that everybody can feel nice and cozy the whole time, you know, Scourges and Mechanists give those nice barriers. If you're going with, like, new people and you want to be able to peel them off the floor every time they go down, Druids, I think, are king of that right now after the transfusion change. If you're going with an experienced group and they will make use of all the tools and tricks that you provide them, Chrono, Firebrand, you know, the better the group, the better those will shine. So it depends. Thoughts on Reward Heal like Tempest? I haven't gotten to that one yet. I haven't tried it. Have not tried it. Okay. Let me run in here, and let me do this, and do that, and do that, and we gotta do that. Wait, am I keeping up self-stability permanently? Like, just the self-only stuff? I might be. Oh, messed up here. I went to dwarf, so we're doing dwarf stuff. Hashtag just dwarf things. What about Scepter 2? How do you feel about that, Toki? I'm assuming it's use it off cooldown, or you possibly use it as like an emergency tool, because it's like a bunch of barrier for your team. Muk trying and strike soon? Yeah. I've almost mastered this build. Soon we will take it to strikes. If you're stuck in Dwarf, the Elite is also good damage reduction. Yeah, so my thing right now is I go to Dwarf when I need to give stability. But then if I'm in it, I use Rite of the Great Dwarf for the damage reduction on the team. And maybe Road. And then get out of Dwarf as soon as possible. I call the series I Tried, They Died. Does Vindy have any res utility? No. What it does have is if a teammate goes down, you can run over to them and you can hit your dodge button and teabag them. Better than any other class in the game. It's like playing Halo all over again. 20 years ago. What's your opinion on Power Scrapper at the moment? I don't have an opinion on Power Scrapper at the moment. Before the last patch, it was absolutely viable. Now, I haven't played with one since patch. That's my honest answer. Yeah, here's my swiftness. I earn and burn my health. Ah! Okay. Let's try this out. Since it gives berry, that's technically helpful. It does. I don't think it gives barrier to downstates, though. You can, I know you can cleanse conditions off downstates. So, like, if you're trying to res someone who's downstates, they got a bunch of conditions off of them, doing an AoE Conde cleanse can make it easier to get them up. But I don't know if you can barrier a downstate. Wizard's Tower. Where's my tome? Look, how much to bribe you to do Auramancer tonight when I can join? How much? Oh, man. I mean, how much you got? I don't know. How loaded are Auramancers? Does your standard Tempest run around with like 500 subs in their pocket? Or maybe I should just be like, oh man, just your friendship. Why not Centaur stance? Give stab on explosion. The stability on Centaur. Okay, let's say I'm in this mode and I need stability. I have to swap to Centaur, make sure the tablet's in the right spot, start casting this, an animation has to play, and then you get stability. So it's multiple clicks and 6 weeks shipping. I'm really not a fan of it, just because it takes so long to happen. Whereas with Dwarf, hang on, all I have to do is click that. That's it. And if I'm in combat, the group gets stability. I got a shiny nickel and a crisp high five. Alright. Alright. EU players. Anyone interested in running the daily strikes and the Ice Brood 5 with me while I try this incredible God's gift to Vindicators build out? I will be running Heal Alacrity. Is this the not so good A-Heal Vindicator build? No, this is the good one. We're doing Tokizo's build. All right, how do I join? Here is the squad join command. I am putting it in the chats right now. Mud, comparing Auramancer can keep up a lack with 2 to 3 skills depending on a few things. It's OP. I mean, a lack brigade can keep up a lack with 1 skill. But I want to know about the rest of the kit. Trying to vindicate Tokizo's Vindicator. I think for a video title, it should just be like, I tried chat's Vindicator build. I looked at the CRPG suggestions everyone gave me on Sunday, and somehow I ended up buying a Total War Warhammer 3 DLC. That's not a CRPG, what? That's a 4X RTS. That's a, what? It's a great one. I have a lot of hours in it, but that is not a CRPG. All right, let me see what we got here. Lotos says quick DPS. Okay. Tokizo here, I can quick DPS. Oh my gosh. All right, we need another Alak heal. Is there anyone else in group 1 that can be Alak heal? You're so gentle, not wanting me to die of hate comments telling me how wrong I am. Tokizo, I'm gonna tell you right now, your build, the only reason I'm still playing your build right now is it looked more appealing to me, a Revenant noob, than the Snowcrow's version. However, I would, if I make this into a video, I would start the video with, if you are wanting to min-max the most out of your build, this ain't it. Right? Like, I feel like that's honest feedback, you know? If you are okay with target swapping and stuff like that, and legend swapping, you can get more out of Vindicator by playing one of the, like, the Snowcrow's build, for example. But if you want an easier to learn one, this worked for me, you know? I gotta put, like, a disclaimer at the beginning to minimize the amount of crow hate that I'm going to get. Not you. I'm not gonna be like, okay, if you had any problems with this, please forward them to tokizo.8917. Like, I'm not gonna put your mailbox in the video. It's just blah, just blast the mailbox. Snowcrow are all about min-max build and hating. They're all about hating too. Yeah. You go to their Discord, you search my name. Whoo! Let's see. Flame Do Panda says I can do a lack heal. All right. Wait, where is Flame Do Panda? God dang it. Hold on a second. Flame Do Panda is Hute. All right, where's Hute? There. Okay, great. All right, fantastic. We're good. All right. Everyone still in group 1, please go DPS. All right. Cosmic Obs. Oh, we're gonna fight Shrek. We're gonna fight Shrek! Plus side, you live rent-free in their heads. I don't want to live rent-free in their heads. Mug is dodging all my Heal Ellie messages. He hates Ellie. What? No, I was reading Rujani's Heal Ellie messages, Tabi. What do you want? Every aura heals. You run Aura Share, which has 600 range compared to the earlier 360. It has Soothing Mist for a lot of passive healing, and Geyser Glyph for floor huggers. For floor huggers. Oh boy. Now, okay, my first question when you tell me that is, can you easily take the revive skills in your build? Or is it like Mirage where you have to make a massive sacrifice to take the revive skills? All right, here we go. Oh, I'm vindicating! Just noticed a small con compared to some other builds. I cannot keep providing might while the boss is untargetable. You can correct me on that if I'm wrong. This happened. So right there, 3 people went down. Wasn't a whole lot I could do to keep them up. Holy crap, this feels so bad for this fight. Alright.
Gather as many of those as you can.
Sorry, chat, I can't talk. This is using both my brain cells. I got no muscle memory for this class. You have 2? Yeah, my mom did a real good job. Is there one on the other side?
Gather as many of those as you can.
Red stuff. Step 5. Oh my god, did you see that shot? I broke the whole break bar all by myself. Amazing!
Do not. Please.
Oh, 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 here comes the pain. Watch out for the blender. You know, one thing I need to check is the actual range of the 2 skill. I don't know it.
If you don't stun her, we have no other options.
Meow. First try. Nice. Not too bad, not too bad. Alright. Monk playing Revenant, so they aren't just for gathering. I mean, they were. You know, this is a different patch. Let's see. It's the whole putting more effort, but while others putting less in effort are pretty much doing the same thing all over again. That sentence was a roller coaster, Cal. I would not say that this is like a low intensity build. Like I wouldn't say this is an LI build, but I would say like, let's say you're learning how to play Vindicator, heal Vindicator. I would say like this could be like your starting point. You could start with this, and then when you master it, you could like then, you know, push yourself to go to the next one. Why did I get an ad, WTF? Cause Twitch plays ads, and you're not subscribed. That's why. And I'm not asking you to sub, but I'm answering your question. Okay, let's see. Other locations, Arborstone. Scepter button can be ignored. Yeah, so instead of getting the Fury from Scepter 3, we're getting the Fury from Relic of the Midnight King. So it's we're losing a little bit of utility, but we are able to play without having to do constant target swapping. Okay, hold on. What is the daily today? Canang Overlook. Oh boy. Is this new Heal-A-Lac Vindy? This is a new Heal-A-Lac Vindy build. It is not the only one. Is using a shield worth it over offhand sword for more damage? Yes. The job of this build is not to do damage. Notice I am doing 1k. The job of this build is to keep the team alive, and the Shield 4 and Shield 5 both do big healing to the team. Every time you press F2 or F3, you give 3 might, because you ask for might if the boss is not targetable. Oh, so you could just, like, keep you could just keep swapping with Alliance tactics? Wait, is that healing AoE or self-only? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna make a note here. Let's see. Healing when boss... Let's see. Boons when boss untargetable. LOL F3 spam. There we go. Alright.
Usually I prefer to handle these matters in private. But as deathbeds go, you could do worse. Enjoy the view!
Do I have a number? Oh, I do have a number. Stun break. I was too busy bouncing. Wait, someone died? What? How did someone die? Also, where's the music? I was still loading in. Hold on. Let's GG. It was pulled too fast. Alright, so yeah, I think it was the Mechanist mech punched the boss, and there was someone that wasn't even in here yet. Also, the fact that there was no music. This boss fight is like a 10-minute fight. If you take the music out of it, it is incredibly boring.
Pull off the pillow myself.
Alright. Take two. Alright. Everyone's good? Alright. Boop. Oh my lord, I can do higher than 2x playback as YouTube premium member. I can do 3x Mukluk. Oh my gosh. I'm too powerful.
Enjoy the view.
That's more like it, chat. Now we vibin'. Now we vibin'.
I represent Kanto's future. You're mere pests in the way.
This is the best part of the job.
Got your jail cell ready. Pull off the pillow myself.
Oh, wrong button. We dwarf now.
Strength in pairs.
Question. Revenants. Okay, as an Ellie, if you start casting, like, staff, like, Fire Staff 2, but then you swap elements, and, wait, no, that's a poor example. Hold on a sec, hold on, let me rephrase this. If you're playing Engineer, and you start using a kit ability, and then you swap out of the kit while the kit ability is still casting, it does finish casting the kit ability. Does that work with Legends? Can I start casting, like, a legend button, swap legends while it's in the middle of casting, and it'll finish? Or does it get interrupted? Alright. I have trouble talking while doing this, but that's what I'm trying to say. Legend swapping does not interrupt. Okay, thank you.
No need to be ostentatious now. It's unbecoming. You think you're any match for me?
Got 2 downstates out here. Okay. Whoa! Did you guys see that? Was that lag? I was like over there and I teleported over here and I don't know the cause. I am on NA connected to EU. It's possible. I don't usually see rubber banding like that, though. That was severe. And that wasn't like when a League of Legends player says lag. Like, you could actually see it. Here's the jungler! Ah! Lee hit your ISP. Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, what happened?
You? Easy. Right, at best.
Oh, I don't know. I was sitting in that holding my shield up and I was like, you know what? I don't know that I can block this. And then I was like, I better get out of this thing. There was a few brief moments where I was like, maybe I should... No. Here's another question. The big orange circle I see when I jump, does everybody see that or only the support vindicator?
I've had enough of you goons. I'll dispose of you myself, you scum.
All people. Alright, so you could say... I don't know. Could you list that as a con, then? Because all of you have to see my orange circles constantly? Like, I could totally see some people getting confused by that. I know when I group with Scourges, sometimes I'm annoyed by their orange circles. That was not aimed at me, I checked. Ah, that was my fault. I came back too soon. That one was on me. Last one wasn't my fault, that one was my fault. I will say, when I want to block, I am not used to having block skills
Good evening, Mr.
that immobilize you. The few characters that I main, all of them, when you're blocking, you can still move around. So I am noticing something that I have to work on, where like I start channeling this, and then I move and interrupt it. And I'm like, oh no, and then I get smacked by whatever I was trying to block. I have done that multiple times already. Alright. Let's see. No Swift. Everyone sees orange circle. No revive capabilities. Which I was really feeling on that attempt. We had a lot of people go down. So I'm in your squad. I didn't see the yellow circle, but maybe it's because I did something in the settings. Well, let's just ask. Do you guys see constant orange circles when I'm with you? There we go. I'm just asking the group I'm in right now. Let's see what they say. After the loading screen, we'll see what they say. I wish ArenaNet got rid of orange circles that are friendly. It makes me think it's damaging AoE. Yeah, I'm that way with Scourges. When I group with support Scourges, like, I know that it's friendly, but it's like, I'm having to fight muscle memory. Well, actually, 3 people in the squad replied, I don't see it. You don't see Scourge circles either? Okay, okay. Maybe I'm talking about my own then. How about this? When I'm playing my Scourge, and I do a big circle, maybe make it green. You know? I don't know. But having it be like the danger orange. Having it be danger orange, not so good. Sorry, this is the curse of being someone that dabbles in 9 classes, is, I know a little bit about everything, but I'm becoming less of a master of one things.
Commander.
I dodged my sandshade.
Yes, I'll be right there.
Give me that. You stay put. Be careful up there. Conditions have gotten worse since Vanguard left.
Mug, I see very shortly the outline of a blue circle.
This storm isn't normal. Blocking us from following Vanguard? Makes you wonder if it's intentional, and who's pulling the strings.
Watch yourself out there, Commander.
So when you're in blue, your 9 button is an evade backward. When you are in red, is it still an evade? I don't think so. Ah, didn't take the jump input. But forward? No, 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 no. I know red goes forward and blue goes backward. I'm asking if it's an evade frame. Ah, damn it, that ice hit me right as I jumped. Yeah, not having swiftness right now is very noticeable. I'm honestly just shocked that no one else has finished this before me. Come on, guys, get it together. I got broken little legs.
Commander, you heard it too, Cree. I should be there.
Alright, let's see. You see constant orange circle. Alright. Okay, I think we're all good here. Alright, and give everyone stability so my group doesn't get knocked down. Wait, someone died. Was it not everyone here? Oh my god. Okay. Well, this guy's half dead already. I apologize if we started early. I thought everyone was here. Hello there. Hi, Lady Kara. I messed something up, we just lost Fury. Alright, there's stability for the group. Yeah, we had no Fury there. So yeah, if I miss time, if I miss a single Reaver's Rage, the Fury drops. Yeah. Actually, wait. Maybe, so the way that it is like Reaver's Rage hits the boss, and then the boss gets CC'd, and then Midnight King gives Fury. I wonder if that was a me just messing up, or if there's a weird interaction, because that boss is one of those creatures that's labeled a construct. Franier would give me another chance to test that. Muck couldn't even keep everyone alive on Shiver Peaks. Yeah, this build sucks. It doesn't even keep the group alive on Shiver Peaks. You could recover with another CC or Scepter 3, yeah. Bears. I don't know, maybe it would be good to actually wrestle with Scepter 3 just a couple times just to, like, overcap the boon a little. What's the setting for looting chests above the map with one click? Just right-click them. There's some chests that doesn't work on, but most of them you just right-click. Also, if you didn't know that tip, you might like this video that I'm linking. Because that right-click the chest thing is the very first thing in that video, and there's a bunch of other ones too. Oh.
reserves, dreamer. Guide the arrows, my claw.
Been a while since I've done this where people didn't just trigger the oh, there it is. I was like, it's been a while since I've done this and someone didn't just make him enrage immediately. Oh, there we go. Bear CM, let's go. That's right. Okay. Today I finally finished my legendary relic collection. Happy noises. Congrats, Ophid. You made the big relic. Oh my god, the legendary relic collection. The unlock them on the legendary. That's pretty cool. Okay. So we're getting a bard class. We're getting something. ArenaNet's been teasing this. Let me see. Is there any new teasers yet today? They're teasing t-shirts. Sinister hood, villainous hood and cape combo. No, nothing really since this thing. All right, Frainer. Haven't played Guild Wars 2 in a long time. Have a few level 80s. Would you suggest to make a new character or picked off where I left off? But I have no idea. Hey, Alex. Alex, I had a similar situation. I played the game for a while and came back to it like 5 years later. I made a new character and played through the game again, and by the time I got to max level on that character, I kind of remembered how to play, and then I was fine playing all my old characters. That's what worked for me. Now, you don't have to do that, but that's what I did. Much did you notice the stuff in the background of the image? It was pointed out to me, yeah. First off, there's two colors in the image that are a lot, like orange and pink, which is usually Engineer and Mesmer. Which I don't know if that's related at all. And then the other thing was like there's like a silhouette of like people, like one person looking at a bunch of people next to a boat in the background.
Dream with me. It's time to sleep beneath the stars.
fought so hard.
That was actually a moment of rather intense healing, just because we were all stacked up way too much and all our circles were hitting each other. Alright, nice. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Frainer down, off to Whisper. Morning, I saw the loot, and as a professional bard, I got super excited. And I saw your video, I was like, oh my god, this might happen. We'll see. I mean, my video is... It's important to remember, Maddie, that my video is just speculation on my thoughts after looking at that. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they're gonna do. There was a lot of funny stuff in the comment section under the video. Like, you know, warriors will get a, is it heavy metal, necros are gonna play grunge. And it's just like, people were speculating, like, what every class's genre of music. I think Ranger was grassroots or something like that. Dude, I couldn't keep up with it. Like, that little 3-minute video where I'm like, they posted a guitar, had like 400 comments in like a couple hours. I could not keep up with them, but I read a lot of them. Lots of people speculating. Answering another question, you take the res trait on heal Ellie baseline. You only lose it if you need to do something more like extra cleanse or extra stab.
I can see you've traveled far.
Give Ranger bluegrass? Yeah. Not to be pedantic, but that appears to be a lute. You know what? Now it's a ukulele. And if you keep this up, it's going to be a guitar. So maybe watch yourself. Extra bad kids get the banjo. Testing something. Nope, still take damage. This room might suck as this character. Let me out! Just hitting my opponent with a foam pool noodle in there. Wait, what? I just got defeat enemies with a scepter 100 out of 100, and we're like in the middle of this fight. Odd. I actually used my gap closer. Oh my god. Lots of people standing in the hitbox. As a friendly reminder to anyone in the group who might not know, if you stand inside his hitbox, that's the circle around him, you will take massive damage per second if there's any chains active. You don't want to be inside that, or you're going to have a bad time. Crap, we dwarfing. Wrong button, we dwarfing! How do you feel about constantly jumping on your teammates' heads? It's like playing Mario. It's quite the throwback. Oh, I can't give us stability because I just left dwarf. Suffering from accidental dwarf. Alright. Next up is Bone Skinner. Last one. Which spec is this? I'm trying a build from chat for a heal alacrity vindicator. Vindicator just recently got alacrity back, and it's alright. It's alright. It's definitely viable. I don't know if it's going to be a new favorite of mine, but it's definitely viable. Does Bone Skinner need stability? No. If not, I would switch to Ventari for bubble and more healing. Fair. Alright, so I swapped to Ventari. What was the button for bubble? Is it this one? No, it's not that one. It's E. Okay, so E is bubble, and then the heal skill moves it around. And then isn't it just like, you just kind of auto? Maybe hit staff 2 while you're in it? I'll try it. I'm probably going to muck it up. Do you have an Is It Worth It video that includes not just hot POF, but also EAD, Soto, JO? They're pleased to update it. I don't. My short answer for that is, if you're thinking about buying the expansions and you're wondering, is it worth it? If you like Guild Wars 2, every single expansion gives more Guild Wars 2. So if you have exhausted all of the stuff that you currently have access to and you want more, it's all good, right? Now, there's different layers of good. For example, I did not like the story in Soto. I loved all the features of Soto, all right? Living World Season 4 is my favorite chunk of story in the game. Doesn't really give a lot of features that affect me today. You know? So they each have different strengths and weaknesses. But if you like Guild Wars 2, all of it is more Guild Wars 2. Alright. Try this out. Oh, lordy. Yeah, see, if I was a druid, I could save them. I got nothing, though. Now, I could staff 5, but I really don't want to go flying through them into all those puddles that people dropped. And we weren't close to a CC anyway. So I brought the, whatchamacallit, centaur thing in case we needed it. Haven't really needed it so far. Wow, I ran out of centaur juice instantly. I was like, alright, chat said use E and R and all my energy's gone. Okay. I definitely could have done some things better there. Without a doubt. But we kept everyone alive that didn't stand in the puddles. The only people that went down were the ones that got caught in puddles. I'm like 90% sure. All right. Boop, 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 boop. We lived. We did live. We did lived. Let's see. Where's self stats? There it is. Why is it not showing barrier? There we go. So that was the HPS and barrier that we were doing. Definitely, it's solid. It's not exceptional. Like when we played, what was it, Mirage the other day? We saw like 11K or something for the HPS. This has way less HPS, but at least in my hands. But it also has barrier accessible to it. It's playable. It's playable. It's playable. And again, Bone Skinner, we kept our group alive through that, other than the people that got caught in a puddle. And Bone Skinner does more damage than almost every raid boss. Raid bosses are not difficult because they do more damage than Bone Skinner. They're difficult because of the mechanics. All right. Slash squad, GG, all. Thanks. All right. Let's go back to the aerodrome and record our thoughts, chat. Let me see. Do I have any other notes down? Let's see. Rotation. Let's see. 7, a button. 7 button, legend, swap, 7. Every time it's available. Okay. And then Scepter 2 off cooldown. Dodge on top of group anytime it is anytime full endurance. If F2 available, use all endurance, then use F2. Okay. think that's pretty much it. So pretty, I would say it's nearly a low intensity build. But certainly pretty easy to pick up. And Scepter auto. Dude, if I have to write down, use your autos. Well, I gotta actually focus on work, so I'm off until tonight. Later, Mocha Chat, don't forget, I've got that crisp high five if you want it. The crisp high five. Hey, you promised me a nickel. The crisp high five if I play Aura Tempest tonight. Oh my god. Do you plan to do and make a guide for Janthir Wild's CM convergences? Have I tried them? I don't know if I've tried them yet. Honest question. Is there any mechanical difference, or is it just bigger numbers? I think on day one when they came out, they were broken, so I didn't try them, and then I forgot they existed. Alright. Spawn a gaunt. Average. Average. Play spawn. Adjust self. Actually, no. We'll ignore that. Let's see. Adjust self. Add boons. Utility. Quickness. Okay. Gotta be organized to finish them in time for the gold silver rewards. They're not hard, just pump damage, dodge bad. Dodge bad. Interesting. Okay. Alright. Let's set this up, chat. Alright. We are going to record an I tried for the Tokizo. The Tokizo Revenant. Alright. Let's see. Would you recommend Guild Wars 1? Would I recommend Guild Wars 1? Okay, couple quick thoughts really fast on this. Guild Wars 1, it's not even the same genre of game as this. It's not even, like, this is an MMORPG. Guild Wars 1 is like an ARPG. It is a fun game. I enjoyed it. I don't love it nearly as much as I love Guild Wars 2. It is completely possible that you could love both or love one of them and not the other one. It is a fun ARPG. If you like that kind of thing, it is enjoyable, but just know that it is a different type of game. But it is also dirt cheap. It's also freaking dirt cheap because it is such an old game. You can often get it for less than $10. So it's certainly not a huge investment to try it out. Okay. Hang on a sec. Let me. Should I turn my light down a little bit? I'm trying to figure out why I'm all crackly right now. I'm not sure. Something is weird with the lighting in my office for that to be suddenly happening. Give me a sec. I know Jackal's mentioned this like a few hours ago. I just ignored it until now. Hang on. Like background? No. Let's see, primary camera. Filters. All right, let me open this up and then go back to here. Okay. And then, hang on, messing with the settings here. All right, 467, all right. There we go. Perfect. Ah! Help! I'm trapped in a sand shade. Ah! All right. All right, so we got a slider bar here. We got to figure out the right setting for it. See, there's like a bit of, there's like some crackling right there, and I'm trying to get that gone. Go back to Sandshade mode. There you go. All right. I don't know if we're gonna get much better than that. If I crop, I don't know, I could crop that a little bit. Hang on. All right. I just, see, you can see my hand cuts off. I just cropped the edge of the window a little bit. All right, I think that might be better. All right, hang on. Let me copy these settings to my other scene. One sec. And then he has to be behind the Mimuk. There we go. Okay. All right. I think that's about it. I got like a little bit of a green outline on my hair now. Whatever. Got the cloaking tech from Predator. Yeah. Okay. So let's jump into this here. All right. I'm gonna do a quick thoughts video, and we'll start from there. Okay. All right. Probably switch stances here. Marker. All right, hello YouTube, hello Guild Wars 2 gamers, Mukluk here. Today is, why am I going into news video? I don't need to do that. Redo. Hello Guild Wars 2 gamers, Mukluk here, and today we got a new episode of I Tried. I was going to try out the Heal Alacrity Vindicator, a new build that was made possible from the most recent balance patch that allows Vindicators, when they are jumping on top of their teammates' heads, to provide alacrity. So it is, at the moment, the only class where any of its 3 elite specializations can provide those boons to their team. Being that the Vindicator and the Renegade can provide alacrity, and the Herald can provide quickness. So we were trying this out. There is a build that is available at the time of recording this. I don't know if it's going to change by the time you see it, on Snowcrows, which is right here. And I skimmed through it, and I was going to try this, and then someone in my chat was like, yeah, hey Muck, I've got one that's a lot easier to learn and only slightly less effective. And I was like, you know what? I'm stupid, so go ahead, give it to me. So this is a build from chat, so we're going to call it Tokizo's Vindicator. And Toki's Vindicator, I tried it out on all the strike missions, and I tried it out in testing. I was able to keep the boons up, and it was pretty good, and I'm going to share it with you guys today. But if you are learning to play Heal Alike Vindicator, this is a great build, what I'm about to show you. If you decide that you are ready to go, you know, even further beyond Goku.meme, then you could go and start learning the Snowcrows one, which you can basically min-max even more utility out of the build than what I'm about to show you right now. So, yeah, just saying that disclaimer on the front end right now, and you know what you're getting into. So, here we go. The build itself, let's start with the gear. We are running Rune of the Water and Harriers on everything. The weapons are Sigil of Concentration and Transference on both weapon sets. We've got a Scepter, a Shield, and a Staff. And over here, still Harriers everything, and Relic of the Midnight King. And I'll explain why in a second. Essentially, when you want to give your team Fury, there is a couple of ways you can do it. One way is by setting up a target macro, or a target key binding for an ally in your settings. Like you put like a target marker like that on a teammate, and then you hit a target my target button, and then you hit 3, and 3 attaches a beam to them, and after a few seconds it starts stacking Fury around the person. So you're targeting the enemy, and then with a couple of key presses you target an ally, you Scepter 3 on them, and then you go back to targeting the enemy, and then after that is fully charged, Fury happens. The other option is Relic of the Midnight King, and anytime you do a CC type skill on the boss, it gives your group 10 seconds of Fury. So this one is much easier to do, but it takes up a relic slot. So if you had mastered this build and you're ready to go further beyond, you would start using the ally targeted Scepter 3 to handle Fury and change this to like Relic of Phoebe to give you swiftness or something. I went with Relic of the Midnight King because I'm a Rev noob and I was trying to simplify some stuff. So this is the build. You can see it here. And we are using primarily just the Legendary Alliance. But we've got Dwarf to give our group stability on demand. So how do you play this? So first, let's just break this down one thing at a time. We're auto-attacking. That is helping keep might up. You notice every couple of hits, we get might. Okay, step 2 of the process. You hit, what is this, 7? You hit 7, and then Legend Swap 7. Every time it's available. Okay? So then we wait for it to come back available again. All right, and Fury is right there, and then 7, Legend Swap. So Alliance Swap, not Legend Swap, 7, okay? Now what does that do? That is permanent self-stability with Alacrity, that's permanent prot on your team, and permanent Fury on your team. This is triggering Relic of the Midnight King. Also, our might is now at 25, okay? So we're just autoing, 7, legend swap 7, okay? You're doing prot, you're doing regen, you're doing fury, you're doing might, and you're doing self-stability, which is a weird one, but pretty awesome on everything in the game except Greer, who corrupts your stability, and then it's fear, but we're not going to talk about that. Note the quickness is from the console, just to simulate being in a group. Okay, let's add one more thing to this. So we're autoing, we're 7, legend swap 7, and now we're going to start bouncing. Dodge. Okay? Anytime our endurance hits full, we're going to dodge. That gives our team some alacrity, that gives our team some barrier, and now let's add one more thing. Energy Meld refills most of your endurance. So we're going to burn both our dodges, get down to no endurance, and then use Energy Meld, F2. So now, anytime our endurance is full, we dodge. And anytime Energy Meld is up, we burn all our dodges and Energy Meld. Energy Meld helps with Vigor uptime, and by giving us more dodges, that is also helping with the Alacrity uptime and the barrier spam. Alright, so now if you look at our boons, we got a whole bunch of good juicy stuff, okay? So, we've done this, we're just breaking it down bit by bit here. So we got 25 might, regen, self-stability, alacrity, fury, prot, and vigor. And it's just going to keep getting better here. All right, so we're going to do this. And I actually interrupted that, so we're going to use that jump, we're going to use that, and then use jump again. And I try to keep one jump in the tank for when I have to actually do a dodge. All right, one more thing. Just hit 2 every time it lights up. Super easy, all right? Just hit the 2, you don't have to do the manual detonation, but you just hit the 2 and it helps put barrier on your team. Alright, so you hit the 2 and then the skill flips over, just ignore the other side, and that will help with your team's barrier, okay? Note, you have got permanent self-stability, you've got a healthy amount of barrier, this is giving more barrier, and you are doing constant healing around you and regen and stuff like that. Alright, that's pretty much the what you're hitting all the time portion of this video. That's what you're doing non-stop. You're autoing, you're pressing 2, you're doing 7 weapon swap 7 anytime 7 is available, and you are hitting your dodge anytime you're full endurance, and whenever this lights up, just use all your endurance and then hit Energy Meld. Okay, so that's all of that. Now, let's talk about the other buttons. Alright, 3, when used on an ally, will give your group Fury. So, let's say there's a moment in the fight where Fury falls off, you failed somehow, you slipped up, and you want to repair it. You could just target an ally, hit 3, and target the boss again, and just keep doing your thing, and that will fix the Fury uptime. It helps with might also. So that's all there is to that. Your shield skills. 4 is a big heal in an area. It gives prot, but you should already be covering that if you've been hitting this every time it lights up. And also it gives Aegis. So I would say primarily you use this when you need to Aegis your group, or just, you know, you need a big fat heal. Like, you know, okay, so we took a big hit, big heal. Your 5 key is a block and also channels a lot of healing around you. Hello, thank you.
It's already salted.
Appreciate it. Okay. Your 5 key is a block and also channels healing around you for the entire time it's blocking. So 5 is another way of topping off group mates while also being able to just block incoming damage. Your heal skill for both the blue version and the red version is a self-heal, obviously. But on the blue version, it's a very sizable group heal as well, on a mere 10-second cooldown. So anytime the group health bars got banged up a little bit, this is the first thing I hit because it didn't use up my block, it didn't use up my Aegis, and it was only a 10-second cooldown. So this is really nice. It's just a little channel, and during that very short channel, it pulses out 5 noticeable heals to the team. So that was really good. Next thing, Tree Song. Your 8 button is regen. You're already going to have 100% uptime on regen. Don't worry about that, but it's helpful. It's helpful. And a lot of condition cleansing. This skill has a 3-second cooldown, and it is a lot of condition cleansing. Okay, and also you get a bunch of endurance as you cleanse, so you get to jump up and down more. So that's really nice. This skill I only used once or twice today during my testing. It's simply an evade. When you're in blue, you jump backward, and it is an evade, so you are effectively dodging. So if I was out of endurance because I accidentally used too much and I needed to do a dodge, you could use that skill if you're in blue. Note, in red, it's not a dodge, but you can use it in blue as a dodge roll. Urn of St. Victor. This skill reduces damage you take by half, and it pumps huge healing around you while it's out. However, it is extremely important to note you are immune to being healed while it's out. Note, I got barrier, I didn't get healed just now. Alright, so this does big healing on your team, but when you're done with it, when you need your health back, hit the button again and it slams it down, and you get some boons, which honestly are not really necessary. Those boons are provided by other things, but it also stops you being immune to healing. There's a few uses for this. One, you take half damage while it's active as a misclick. You take half damage while it's active, and you have 50% more run speed while it's active. Two, it's a bunch of healing on the whole group around you as long as you're holding it, so you can use this to help patch people up and then put it down when you're done with it. That's the main thing. When you're in red, I'm going to be honest, I never used this. It might have had some uses, but I never used this. This I use just as a movement. When you're in red, the jump backward skill becomes a go forward skill. You can use it for just for movement. And I never used the spear while I was supporting my group. And if the red heal is really just if you yourself need healing, because it's not going to help, it doesn't heal your team. But if you end up getting pretty banged up while you're in red form, you can use the that just for a self heal. It does not put the other one on cooldown, which is really freaking nice. Now you'll notice this whole sequence I've shown so far, it doesn't require you to swap legends at all. So I was often bringing Dwarf Stance, and the reason for that is Dwarf Stance combined with Spirit Boon is stability the moment you click it. So you have to be in combat. So I'm in combat now, and then look, I hit Dwarf, instant stability to the team. That's before you hit Road, and then now you've got tons of stability, right? So that was just really nice to have in the back pocket. You could also put Centaur there in place of Dwarf if you needed, like, the bubble for a fight. Like, if you were doing a fight with a ton of enemy projectiles. So a couple notes here. If you need to stability your team, just click the button to go Dwarf. The group gets stability. And then while you're in Dwarf and you're waiting to go back, I would always use Rite of the Great Dwarf. It reduces the damage the group is taking by 50% for 5 seconds. Amazing! And then, hell, you could even throw the road down, have some more stability, and then you go back to not Dwarf and go back to doing this. And so I literally only swapped Dwarf when we needed stability, or, this is very important, if I hit the wrong button. Shut up, don't talk to me. All right, so those are the only times I went Dwarf. And the rest of the time, you're just bouncing between red person and blue person, and you're just doing stuff there. Let's see, what else? So while you're playing in this fashion, in this manner, you're keeping up Might, you're keeping up Fury, you're keeping up Prot, you're keeping up Regen, you're keeping up Alacrity, you're keeping up Barrier, you're doing constant healing on the team, and you have permanent self-stability, which is a unique thing. You have Aegis on demand with the Shield 4. You have Stability on demand by going Dwarf. You have CC on demand. Let's talk CC. One, you're doing a small CC, it's like every, I don't know, twice every 20 seconds or something like that. Basically, whenever you are red guy, your Reaver's Rage is a CC. It's 150 Defiance Break. We're using it with Relic of the Midnight King to trigger some Might and Fury and stuff like that. Whole bunch of stuff just happened. All right, so Reaver's Rage is a slight CC, but we're spamming it, so it might not be available when we need it. So we will turn to one of the best CCs in the entire Guild Wars 2, which is Weapon Swap and Staff 5. Staff 5, you fly forward while spinning the staff around, and the fatter the mob is, the more hits it does, is the short version of it. I won't go into the nitty-gritty details, but that's the gist of it. The bigger the mob is, the more hits you do as you pass through them. Tons of CC, but just know it moves you forward if you're a noob to this class, because if there's like a nasty puddle on the other side of the boss, you might throw yourself into it. It's worth being aware of. After you do Staff 5, if you're like, what do I do till I can get back to my other weapon set? Staff 2 does some healing around you. Staff 4 is a cooldown, heal, and Condi cleanse around you. I never really used Staff 3. And you know, that's just me. You know, I'm learning this class. I don't play it much, so there was a learning curve there. But I just basically use like Staff 2, Staff 1, a bunch of autos, 4, and then I would swap back to this. Staff 3 is block. Oh, thank you for the reminder. Staff 3 is block. So typically today when I need to block, I use Shield 5, but Staff 3 is block also. Appreciate that. And Staff Auto. Yeah, Staff Auto is a heal, I think, on the 3rd hit. Hold on, I have to leave combat for the tooltip to come up. And respawn that guy. And there we go. Yeah, the 3rd hit is a AoE heal and a whirl finisher. And let's briefly talk about Centaur. If you're using this and you have Centaur is the other one, most likely the reason for that would be to put up the bubble. If you go into Centaur, the 7 key puts a bubble up, and just by autoing in it, the 3rd hit of the auto with Staff is a whirl finisher, and this is a light field, so it'll do a combo. I believe it does the condition cleanse combo. Not required, but it's good to know that it's there. And then your other buttons here do various amounts of healing, and then just swap out of it when you need it. But I only brought that to Bone Skinner today. I brought this for the daily strikes plus the IBS 5. I had Dwarf as my second one most of the time. But that's it. So that's how to play it in the way that I learned how to play it today. Again, this is not the best way to jump up and down. There are professionals that jump up and down better than this. Now, what are the professionals doing? Most of them are swapping between the Alliance stance and also Centaur on a constant basis, rather than just swapping between the alliances. And by doing the ally targeting on the 3, which in my opinion is clunky, but it is available, you can free up Relic of the Midnight King and bring Relic of Phoebe, which would give you swiftness. This build does not have swiftness in it. So, again, strengths. Hold on, I'm just going to put my notes on the screen right here. Strengths, you got Might covered, you got Fury covered, you got Prot covered, Regen, Alacrity, Barrier, Healing, and high uptime on self-stability. Actually, I think it's perma self-stability if you're playing it, you know, perfectly. You have Aegis on demand, Stability on demand, you have good CC on demand, you have good burst healing on demand with your, let's see, hold on. Blue Heal, Shield 4, Shield 5, and Urn are all really nice heals on demand. So we got all of that stuff. And, wait, hold on. And what if the boss is untargetable, is something I wrote down. Let's say you cannot hit the boss, you know, so you can't keep autoing to keep up might stacks. You can keep hitting F3. Every time you, F3 is a 3-second cooldown, and it refreshes might and regen. And then also, you could keep hitting, you know, you could hit that, you could hit that, and you could keep hitting that stuff. So usually, if you're in a fight where the boss is untargetable, it's only for a couple seconds. But you could, you know, keep hitting F3 and Awakening to refresh those boons while you're waiting on it, and then you should be fine. It's not going to be so long that your might stacks completely fall off. So that was just something I noted. Condition cleansing, what do you do? Tree Song is your biggest one. It is massive condition cleansing, and it is spammable. It's only a 3-second cooldown. It does take energy, so you can't spam it like 100% of the time, but you could absolutely do it a handful of times in a row, no problem. The other thing is Staff 4. If you're running Staff 4, AoE condition cleanse also. And then I think those are the main 2 Condi cleanses in your kit. Downsides. Anything negative to say about this? You have no swiftness in the version of the build I've displayed today, unless you make the change I mentioned. You see constant orange circles. So if this bothers you, prepare to get bothered. Constantly. Now, I did ask my teammates, do you guys see these orange circles? They said no. So I think it's kind of like playing Scourge. I know when I played Scourge, I am not ashamed to admit, I have used my shade and then dodged my own shade before because it scared me, because orange circles. So if that bothers you, well, now you know. I don't think this one's as bad as the Scourge one, but it's worth knowing. And the last thing is no revive capabilities. If your teammate goes down, the only thing as a Vindicator you can do is like run over to them and pretend I'm standing right above the teammate and just like bag them harder than any other class in the game. That's the only strength you've got here. Good luck. I hope you can you know, get better. Maybe send them a card after the raid's over. You got nothing. Yeah, absolutely nothing for saving down states that I could see. So it's worth noting that. Yeah, so there's no revive potential. So how is this? Solid? It's not exceptional. It's solid. The way I learned it, I could not handle the extreme damage field here. It is important to note that that field does more damage than like any raid boss in the game does. You don't need to be able to heal through that to be viable. And maybe it was a skill issue because I'm playing this build for the first time. But I couldn't heal through the extreme damage field without dying. I was able to for like 30 seconds or so, and then I crumpled. So that was a thing. I was able, on the hardest damaging strike, which is Bone Skinner, I was able to keep my whole group alive, except for people that stood in puddles. The only people that died were the ones that stood in the puddles, and I did not have a revive skill, so I was like, well, I guess we're fighting without you, so we lost a few people, but it wasn't because of like healing output or anything like that. It was absolutely possible, not even that difficult to keep up boons and keep the group healed, as long as they didn't stand in instant death mechanics. I think that was it. Did you encounter any energy issues? No. By playing in the way I showed, I did not ever encounter energy issues. When I was first trying this build out, I was spamming, like every time I was in blue, I was hitting Tree Song every time it lit up. And then I was like, wait, after like 30 seconds, I run out of energy, and then I have energy issues for a long time after. But as long as you just like, if you need Tree Song, do it 2 or 3 times. And even that's 15 condition cleanses. But don't just hit it every time it lights up. If you're just playing it in the way that I showed, I did not have any energy problems. But that's it. Once again, this is a build. This is a shout out to Tokizo from chat. He sent me this and I tried it. And I'm like, you know what? This is almost a low intensity build. It's not quite, I wouldn't quite label this LI. So I'm not going to put that in the thumbnail. But this is a very, in my opinion, user-friendly way of learning how to play Heal Alack Vindicator. And then if you decide you want to go further beyond and master it even more, at the moment of recording this, there's a guide on Snow Crows for Heal Alack Vindy that shows how to, it's a lot more button presses, but you get more out of it. That's, full disclosure, you get more out of it. That would be like if you want to really, really get good at this, that would be where to go after picking this up. But I think that's it. That's all my notes. That's all I got to say on this. What do you think about it? If you have any thoughts on Heal Alack Vindy, do you like it versus Heal Alack Spectre, Heal Alack, Scourge, any of the other options? What do you think? Put it in the comment section down below. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are, but those were mine after playing it for a few hours. And I'll fight you in the comment section. All right, chat. There we go. It's done. We recorded the video, and I noticed the green screen is failing again. God dang it! Ah! Hold on a second. Yeah, look at that. If I zoom in on just the green screen, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. It is not behaving. Okay, hang on a sec. So if I do, where's the slider? If I do that, all right, then I go back to this scene. What does it look like? Yeah, my shoulder's crackling again. It might be the lighting in here. I'm wondering, because, my kid is constantly running in and out of here. I wonder if he bumped my light, because the light is, like, very particular. Hang on a second. Let me see. Hang on. I got like a huge box lamp over here. Okay. Let's see if that helps in the slightest. Maybe a little? Maybe? Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect. There you go. Pasty, pasty, paste. Going into the well-lit area. Nope, that makes it worse. Other way, other way, other way. Nope, there's like some crackling above me now. God dang it. I don't know. I think it's the lighting in my office. I've got 2 lamps in here. Because the room... Let me show you guys something. If the room is not lit at all... Hold on. I'm going to turn these off. I'm going to teach you guys about lighting. Okay. This is a green screen without proper lighting. Okay? This is what it looks like. Alright? There has to be enough light on the green screen. Otherwise, it shows up as black. And it doesn't work. So, I've got 2 lamps in here that light the room, but you can't have them hit it directly because then it makes a glare. So you need some like soft light that is hitting the room, but not directly hitting the green screen itself, or it breaks. But yeah, I think like at some point my wife or my kid bumped one of the lamps and it is just slightly off and it just messed up everything. All right, more importantly, chat, very importantly, while I was recording that video, my wife brought me, hold on, chicken nuggets and tater tots. So I am going to eat these now. We can talk, we can schmooze, we can mingle, but I'm going to be stuffing my face. All right, we have mastered Heal a Lack Vindicator. I need to write this build down. Hold on a sec. Where's the build? I'm copying it. Paste and Snowcrow's version. Paste. Wait, that did not work. Hold on a sec. Let's try that again. Copy, paste. There. Okay. I have saved the build for the comment section. Okay. There we go. Bon appetit. Yeah, I know, right? I managed to buy Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous without buying another Total War Warhammer 3 DLC. Well, have you already done Necro? Since the patch, I have done Staff Scourge Necro. I have done Heal a Lack Mirage. And now this. I've done those so far. Where's Muck from? All over. I currently live in Georgia. The one in the United States, not the country. Casper says, I'm new to Guild Wars 2. What is the zone you're in? Can I easily get there? Yeah. So it's like a testing room for trying stuff out. You can simulate different stuff in there. If you want to get there, hang on just a second. So here's Lion's Arch. Everybody finds the city around level 20, level 30 or something. At the south end of Lion's Arch, there's this room, this area called the Aerodrome, and it's like right here. Monk, you're finally playing Guild Wars 2 after 5 months? What are you talking about? I'm here like every week. I just arrived about, missed the filming, I watched the video. What's the 5-second summary of your feelings of a Lack Vindy? It works. It is a decent pick. It can do the job. It's not like a favorite of mine because it doesn't have any revive skills, really. But it absolutely works.
How would you say Alec Vindy stacks up compared to Alec Chrono? Mukluk note also I want to add that last time I drowned in the first puddle, that was literally the first time I did Bone Skinner in my life. Equals P.
I have not played Heal Chrono in a while. I will say my memory of Heal Chrono was from many months ago, and it was really solid, and it made my brain make the happy juice. Like, Well of Precognition is one of the most fun support buttons in the game. I will say I do like Chrono because your skills are always available to you. You don't have to be in the right legend or, you know, something like that. Or in the right blue-red stance, you know? Your skills are just always available to you. That's nice. So I would say, although it's not recent, I would probably say I like Heal Chrono more. But that doesn't, like, you know, that doesn't make the Vindy bad, but that's a personal preference. Reborn says, hello, I just bought the first 2 Guild Wars 2 expansions. They were on sale. Do you have any tips for me as a beginner? Sure. Welcome to the community, Reborn. A couple things. One, I'm just linking right now a new player guide. And also, this is just the second video that's about to come up into the chat is just a list of assorted tips if you're interested. Mike, did you just change the level button without clicking on it? Oh god, that thing? Okay, so if you're in Mistlock, which is in space, this is the map. Shift mouse wheel. Shift mouse wheel down or shift mouse wheel up. You can also click over here on elevation and change the elevation of the world map there. That's extremely useful in maps like Verdant Brink because Verdant Brink has a whole bunch of floors and you can just shift mouse wheel through the floors. Also, Mr. Madigan, thank you for the bits. Does it work in Armistice Bastion? Okay, it works on any map that is connected to the world map. Not every map is. That is very important to note. Not every map is connected to the world map. Have you tried Burn Tempest with power change to burn? It's pretty low effort to such high DPS because you only have to stay in fire. I have not. I'd like to. I haven't tried it yet. I know about click. I didn't know about shift mouse wheel. You changed my life. You're welcome. Hey, Muck, what are you munching on? Chicken nuggets and tater tots. Because I have the taste buds of a child, and they are very happy right now. Yeah, I don't know if they changed it. Do I still have, where is it? 1000 Seas. Is this on the world map now? It didn't, excuse me, it didn't used to be. I want to say, I haven't been here in months. Loading. All right, Huh, it does work. Huh. I didn't know they changed that. Yeah, so here's this, and if I shift mouse wheel, I can see the world map now. So I can teleport out of there without another loading screen. Good for them. When it first came out, you had to, it would take 2 loading screens to leave 1000 Seas. Now it doesn't. Neat. Pretty sure someone said, what about Armistice Bastion? That's in World v. World. I don't know about that one. Pretty sure that would just have the World v. World map. Yeah. So, Armistice Bastion is part of this map. This is World v. World. There's no layers here. And that's in the PvP lobby. Yeah. I think that's all of the passes that I have. You have an orange circle on Claw Island? It's one of the Bloodshed add-ons was talking about an event or something. The only reason I like 1000 Seas is that portal that gets ults to places I don't want to run, have to run to quickly. Yeah, if you play a lot of ults, it can be extra worthwhile. I don't, so. It's, like, I don't think I've made another character since I got the 1000 Seas Pavilion thing. Hello, just seen the thing about loots. Hoping that every class gets a music specialization and we have to take on the final boss in the next expansion with a massive dance battle. Billy, why are you standing in red circles? I'm sorry, I'm trying to play Guitar Hero. Glory to Muck, may he win Streamer of the Year 2025. Ha! I am very blessed that you guys like me enough that I'm able to do this full time. I don't think I'm winning any Streamer of the Year awards. I don't know if anybody knows me outside of the Guild Wars 2 section. Have you ever heard the Ron White Tater Tot story? Yeah. He got arrested for like being drunk in public or something. And they asked him if he had any aliases, and being drunk and stupid, he told the police tater salad. And then years later, he got pulled over for like a traffic ticket or something, and they're like, "Are you Ron Tater Salad White?" And he started laughing because that was like, he was shocked that that was still in his record. And then he talked about how he was going to name his son Tater Tot. They're like, "You were drunk in public and disorderly." And he's, "I didn't get drunk in public. I was drunk in the bar. They threw me into public. Arrest them. I wanted to go back. Thousand Seas is also good for getting aquatic kills. Also, you know, one really weird strength of it. Hang on. Thousand Seas is pay to win. I'm gonna show you how. The only thing I remember Ron White saying, and the most memorable thing, is you can't fix stupid. I like how you misspelled the word stupid. That makes it funnier. Monk, any idea how long it usually takes to adjust after patches like the previous one to new builds pumping over 50k DPS? That doesn't seem balanced. I mean, if there's something like grotesquely out of line, they typically hotfix it pretty fast. Alright, chat. I'm gonna show you pay to win. Yeah, you have to pay a bunch of gems to get access to this zone, right? This is a VIP area. And for some reason, it is the only spot in the game where you can practice underwater DPS. It's the only spot in the game I know of with underwater training golems. So if you're grouped with someone and they have access to this pass, and you're fighting underwater, they have an advantage. Because they can train. And you can't. I feel like they should have some of these in like Lion's Arch or something. I love underwater fighting in this game. I do too. I wish they used it in more content. It's really good. Lily of the Elon is pay to lose all your ectos. All of Charmon's balls. Yeah. All the ectos. Do you love the underwater fractal? Except for when they turn you into a dolphin. Yes, I do. Did you see the new items in the store? No. Also, my Wizard's Vault is pinging me about something. Alright, what do we got? Villainous. Cape and hood combo. I don't know, it just looks like I've got there's a poncho off the back of my head. Might look better on other races. Looks pretty silly on me. Because I know it's making my ears flat against my head. Cape looks dirty. You know what it looks like? Hang on. Okay. Hold on a second. Open image in new tab. Alright, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of this character from Charlie Brown. That just always had that aura of dirt. Makes me think of him. It's the same picture. You look like an eggplant in that cape. A little. I hate that I can see it. Cartoon Asmongold. A few days ago I saw legendary armor that was like 400 gold in total to craft. I think I was drunk. Is it really that cheap? It can be, depending on if you've got a bunch of materials in your storage. So, like, okay, the Mystic Crafting module for Blishhead is great, right? If you go in here and... let me see, does it have obsidian? Armor... Obsidian. Alright, obsidian heavy armor. Alright, so this is going to scan my account and tell me how much money worth of stuff am I missing to make this armor. Apparently, I need 2 gold. However, that's not including quest items. So I need a whole bunch of quest items I cannot buy from other people, and a whopping 2 gold to make these legendary boots. Okay? So in terms of gold, yeah, this is nothing. But I probably have to go rift hunting a lot or something, you know? Because there's some materials that are not buyable with gold that I need to gather. But yeah, it is possible to get some legendaries for really cheap. Because either A, you got a bunch of stuff in your mat storage, or B, it requires a bunch of stuff that doesn't cost gold in the first place. How do you get that? That is the Mystic Crafting module. I highly recommend it. I am putting a link to the add-ons webpage that I've made in the chat. And if you click that link, it opens this up. Scroll down a little. Here's a whole bunch of modules here. And this right here, Mystic Crafting, shows what you're missing. Fantastic mod. Highly recommend if you're making any legendaries. Makes it much easier. Is Orax okay with you eating his nuggies? Don't tell Orax. Unfortunately, lately, Blisshed is causing a lot of lag for me. Really? You might, if you don't mind sparing a few minutes to fix the problem, join their Discord. And, because they're really nice, and you can be like, hey, I'm running this, this, and this, and it's causing me to lag. Do you have any input? Like, you can talk straight with the guys that made it. I haven't seen that. Do you think we'll get another teaser from ADAT tomorrow? Today's Tuesday. If they're going to do another teaser, I figured it'd be today. Maybe. It is possible. You know, something else I thought of afterward. Alright. In my video, I was like, you know, the shape behind the loot is this. Like a specialization. What if we're getting Bard? Later, I was like, you know, it's also the shape behind this. Imagine if they're teasing a change to a minor trait. What if they were just like, yeah, this bit here, Vindicators don't jump up and down anymore, now they play guitar. Like, what? I was like, surely that's not what they're doing. Surely it's not a minor trait change. Now Vindicators jump up and down and hit you with guitars. You want to lack? Let me play you a riff. Dude, I saw some people saying, what if they take all boons away from everyone and give them only to Bard? And I'm like, do you remember Chrono Jail? That would just be one required class in every group. And I will tell you, I wouldn't mind it. But I don't think they're going to do that. I would be okay with that change. I don't think they're doing that. I find it alarming that the number of viewers has increased by 100 while I've been eating nuggies. The viewers are here for the nuggies. Forget the game. It's Orax's alt account. Yeah, chat yearns for the nuggies. I've been doing the streaming thing wrong for years. Yeah. Who was the avocado guy that just got really fat was just eating on stream? Clearly, he knew what he was doing. Like, yo, forget making content. I just need to be eating on camera. Which is an alarming thought. Mukbang stream, yeah. Almost done. What if they gave the elite spec to everyone as a boon spec? I'd be okay with that. It'd be interesting. But that makes me think, okay, let's say it's a spec. Okay, hold on. We're going to use our imagination now, chat, right? Let's say there's a specialization that everyone can use. And it gives all boons. And now the other specs don't give boons anymore, right? How many builds could pull it off? Because there are some builds that require all three certain specializations to function. And then there's other builds that don't. So I have to like go through and make a list of like, this build works even if you take out one of the core specs. Or this build absolutely doesn't work if you remove anything. People like him give vegans a bad name. Nick Avocado is a vegan? I swear I've seen him eat like 5,000 chicken nuggets in a thumbnail or something. LCM, Saris, all bards. Yep. So many boons. That sounds like balancing hell. I don't know. Would it make balancing easier if all the boons came from one source instead of 27? Like, there is a world where balance would be easier if they did that change. He was a vegan before the nuggets? Well, then it doesn't count. He failed at being vegan. He went back to killing chickens. Can't wait to get that charisma buff when fighting a raid boss. What if this has nothing to do with music at all, and we're just getting the ability to seduce? We're all forgetting about Bard's other strength. Alright? This might have nothing to do with music. They removed Chrono Jail for a reason? Yeah, I know. Okay, let me see. Do I still have teleport to friends on this dude? Yeah. No, no one's at the end of the jumping puzzle. Guild Wars 2 dating sim confirmed. If Dead by Daylight can do a dating sim, I think it's fair that Guild Wars 2 can do one. What is this? Make her my Mordra mommy. Wow. Dear Diary, I learned a new word today I didn't want to learn. Alright. I'll have to wait until someone is at the JP. I'm not going to do the JP again. Snargle Gold Claws romance options. You can't handle Snargle Gold Claws romance options. Check NA. Now, I've only got 20 more minutes left before I have to step out, so just stay on EU and do whatever we can. Go up to Krauk like, hey, they're good looking. Dude, I was playing Riftbreaker yesterday, and in Riftbreaker, we have it set up like a community thing where if anybody chooses to like renew a YouTube membership or a Twitch sub while I'm playing Riftbreaker, they can pick a disaster in game and I'll use the console to spawn it. So basically, you know, they fund my pantry and they break my ankles at the same time. And one guy, it was EB. EB slaps down like 5 gifted subs on Twitch, and he goes, I want 5 Kraukatorics. And I'm like, wait, what? And he goes, 5 Krauks. And I'm like, what? You go, Kraukatoric? From Guild Wars 2? I'm like, that's not an option. What are you talking about? He's like, the purple guy. I'm like, yeah, that's Kraukatoric. He's from Guild Wars 2. And he goes, hang on. And he goes to the wiki, and he's like, oh, Krakoons, which is a monster in Riftbreaker. And I'm like, dude, what? That's completely different word. They just both start with K. And he's like, all right, Krakoons. And then he killed me with Krakoons. His mind was so very much on Path of Fire. All words that started with K were Kraukatoric. Your fault you can't summon Elder Dragons? Clearly. Riftbreaker is great. You fund your pantry and you fund your therapy bill for having to play Riftbreaker. Dude, I remember after my kid and I played Split Fiction, he's like, Dad, who do you think would win in a fight? Kraukatoric or the dragon from Split Fiction? And I was like, Kraukatoric. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because 2 untrained women killed the dragon in Split Fiction. And Kraukatoric took armies to bring down. That's why. I think Kraukatoric would win. Like, they fought him while riding baby dragons that were 2 days old. And they breathed fire into his eyeballs. Give Chip some of my birthday cake. Sure, send me birthday cake. I'll send some to Chip. Let's see. Daily gathering, daily gathering. You were the first to light the beacon. I have no idea what this is in reference to, but 10 gold is 10 gold. A treat for you. Raspberry Peach Bards. Okay. When I hear light the beacon, I think of Merida or whatever from Skyrim. I don't know what that's about, though. That was the wrong button. Let's see.